hear me? Doing good there. Alright, start this fucking music up here. Woo! Oh, what's up, brother? How you doing? You chilling?
Okay, do you do that?
What?
You do that thing that you do posted?
What is it? I haven't seen anything.
And Wall Street?
Oh, this morning?
You just said that right before you, at 1:20,
Uh,
right before you sent your shit. You just have to go enter your X handle and ETH address for the whitelist.
that's easy. Ooh. Alright. Oh, what the hell? I got like $100 of Pepe on my fucking wallet. I didn't know about.
That's lit.
Pretty dope. Do we have to tweet this tweet?
No. You can just exit out of that.
Alright, now that we are live and ready to go, and high as shit. Zuzu, what's good, Zuzu? Alex Becker just tweeted, ETH is going to 10K. Have a good day.
He said what?
ETH is going to 10K. Have a good day.
Yeah, I mean,
It's acting like it.
it's got as much volume as Bitcoin is today. Stupid.
The thing is the sentiment on ETH has turned so hard that it's like only due to pump harder.
Yeah.
Like all the action is on layer 2 stuff, you know what I mean? Like it's literally all in layer 2.
Yeah. I'm happy. I took $100 of that profit from the other night. Went and played some blackjack. Turned that into like $500 an ETH. I was trying to run it up to a baby, but I was like, started losing a little bit. So I was like, all right, I'll just take
the 5.
my wins.
Yeah, take your 5. Yeah, I was doing pretty good on the Ronki casino. I ended up buying a Ronki NFT, and then as soon as I bought it, I was just getting fucking shit on, bro.
I saw they went down quite a bit.
The NFTs?
Yeah. I think people are just selling out because Ronan's gone up a little.
Yeah, that kind of cycle. Yeah, so now I got 11 Ronkies.
Nice. Yeah, they're down like 70-something floor.
78.
400 Ron OTC for a fallen set. 350?
Bro,
Maybe got a deal.
No way. Way less, bro.
300?
I bet you could get it for 2.
No, that's way too cheap.
I bet you could. 250. Yeah, Damoon committed his $500,000.
Yep.
So your 300K would only be like 4,000. Or less, actually.
Yeah, I got almost 4. I got 348,000.
Oh, you are second place.
No, I didn't commit. Somebody says the same amount as me.
Oh. What's up, buddy? Yeah.
But I mean, that's what I'm saying. I could commit. Sell 2,000 of those nanas and buy that floor grape.
Nah. You better just to have the banana. I would just write down that 4,000 number somewhere so that way you know what you could have got on this season. And then see what it's going to be next season.
Yeah.
I almost want to buy those boxes. I think there's only like 100 left.
Or the purples?
Yeah. Think about this five pieces of purple armor at 50 would be 250, bro. Is it just me, or does like this not seem appealing? CAG NFT.
Wait, there's a CAG X Cyberkongz?
Something, I guess.
So they're just trying to pull our liquidity.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I saw it. Bruh, it looks like ass.
The NFT.
The Cyberkongz one. Are you kidding? Look at Wall Street. Bro. It's hideous.
Like, what the absolute fuck?
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god, I didn't even realize I wasn't even on. We're still on the We're So Back screen. I'm fucking high as shit. TW. Alright, first place getting 7,500. The Moon, shout out to Moon, 3,000 almost for the first prize.
I
So.
do like how there's only 33 one-on-ones. Our wallets look so similar. Basically all banana and like Tenron.
Alright. Gotta go up and save that. What's it called?
So there's only been one baby sale. And it was the one that Frankie bought.
I mean, it wasn't really like a. I mean, all that's gonna do is just make us buy, you know?
Yeah. I guess it's like an insider announcement for the people that are paying attention.
Yeah. Which, like, bro, I got babies, bro. I'm good.
You need more.
I'm looking to sell. Especially now that East finally
At these prices?
I mean, I told you I have a plan and I'm sticking to it. So I have 10 babies, bro. Or 9 babies, bro. Like, I have plenty of babies. There's literally no reason in hell I need to buy any more babies. Literally. I got buys at point 0.3, point 0.7, 1.1, 1.2, 1.4. I need price up. That's what I
Yeah,
need.
that's what I'm saying.
Not buy more. Once price is
So we
up, I
need to
can
finally
finally
push the price up.
these positions that I've been holding for so long, bro.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I all I'm gonna do
I
is
mean, none of it's guaranteed yet, dude. Hopefully we
all I'm
can
gonna do is buy more Nana anyway. So like I want to have like fucking 50,000 Nana or some dumb shit like that. Because the way that the way
think back to October 5th of 2021, dude.
just
A no trade baby sold for $67,000.
um the way that I see it is one, if gen prices go up, awesome, right? Cool. Also, if banana price goes up, even better. I have like 2,000 Nana that I haven't claimed, right? If that, if say that becomes like 2 or 3,000 banana, right? Or I mean 3,000 banana, and bananas at like $3, $4 or whatever, right? My effective cost, like what I spent on my gen, was 3.1 times 25, 50, $7,905. Okay? If I can get the claim of that banana to be more than essentially $8,000, I'm gonna sell that fucking gen, bro, when it gets like super, super high because I'll be able to cover my costs on just purely banana alone. Is my speculation, of course, right? Like, it could not happen like that, but
Yeah, you and everyone else that wants that exact scenario to play out. And everyone else is going to be looking to do the exact same thing. That's the issue, bro. So many
anybody,
Kongs are still looking to get out. We need so much more new liquidity.
I just want
We need a reason for new people to even come into the ecosystem. Nobody can talk about any of this shit anymore.
Well, that's why TrenchBot needs to be so successful. Because if TrenchBot is successful, it doesn't matter how good CK does. One,
Yeah.
two, we will all get profit share off of TrenchBot. Is what I'm thinking is going out. Is what's going to happen. And I think some like the rev share alone off of what they've done up to like a week and a half ago or whatever. When I heard the number, I was like, it's not a lot. I go, in comparison to some other things, I go, but the fact that it's able to do, say, this, it was like, I think it was like 1 million over like 2 or 3 weeks. Bro,
Yeah.
even if we get 1% of 1%, or 5% of 1%, or whatever, right? Like, it's like, as it starts to take over, bro, it'll just be more and more. So like that's also why I'm tweeting more about TrenchBot, because like it really does help if we are tweeting about, like, we need to be tweeting about this stuff. You know what I mean? Like, we are the ones that are gonna that make the bag worth it, essentially. I guess, like, we need to do the footwork essentially too. Like, and just as we said earlier, I think banana has the room for the most X's. So like, why hold if I can get the money back that I
I mean,
spent?
I don't know, dude. I haven't seen banana with any liquidity ever in my lifetime, so I guess that's something that I'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, I mean, the chart. We got 10 minutes.
Like I just have an insanely hard time realizing people selling $8,000 worth of banana and it not going to zero.
I mean, right now it would.
But what's gonna change? Like honestly, what could change, bro? I just don't give a fuck about this shit. The only people that do are Kongs.
Look, this looks like it starts with a P or an F. It actually kind of looks like it says something labs. Like pudgy or puffy or
Penguin Labs.
something. I don't see.
Kongium Labs.
I kind of see R or P. You know what I mean, as the first letter,
Yeah.
and then labs for sure. LABS. This almost looks like it says trenching. But the middle gets a little foggy.
New banana.
This?
Yeah, I think the second word in that is banana.
Oh, and this one?
Yeah.
I wish I could zoom in more. It almost looks like it says pay.
Or buy banana?
No. I don't see any like to make the B, the bottom down here. I don't see any white, you know? I mean, maybe. Now that you said that, I just don't see enough white down here to make the B.
Yeah.
But, and then this, possibly something banana.
And then next to staking, like to the right of staking, I think is rewards.
Yes, I think that too as well. Staking rewards. And then this is Baby Kong and I think banana holders. Because remember, banana is going to be a focus, right?
Yeah.
So, and babies as well as gens, right? Like what? And then look at these ones that are in different colors, bro.
minutes.
Did you see what I added Henry in the mafia?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna say shit, bro. I'm sure he feels bad. He knows that we went and bought a lot of shit after that.
Yeah, okay, so if you committed, you would get 3,500 nano back. Like if you added your shit.
Huh?
If you added your Kongium to this pool, you'd get like 3,500 back.
Yeah.
So should I pre-dump right now?
See, I feel like that's pointless.
No, You're just beating out whoever is gonna dump their what they get. That's all
Yeah,
you're
but
doing.
it'll just come right back.
Yeah, no, well that
You're gonna be paying 2% or 3% fees on swapping everything.
assuming well hey if it drops 5 to 6%, there's only 3% to be made. All right.
I just think it's unhealthy and not worth it. Damn, 74 out of 74.
Oh, somebody put in 74.
Yeah, X.
Sheesh. $2 minutes for 3,000 banana. I think I got them all at 25 of 25 for me.
It'd be nice to hit first place on this.
A little 3K.
It's like almost $1,000.
Yeah, it's like $800.
Yeah,
Jesus.
yeah.
74 of 74, 47 of 47. Oh man, I gotta send you something if I still have it in my photos. Uh, oh, it's probably in my deleted photos. Oh, here, let's 1 minute. We gotta put the music on.
Oh my gosh.
But
The season has ended.
the season is
Did I try to
ending.
commit?
30. No, 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 no. I would just wait. Add another stack of shit. Don't say I'm sending something funny, but don't say anything about it. Whoa, 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 whoa,
Is it rolling yet?
whoa. Nah, Takes a second. Plus, we gotta start it. Honestly, what we wanted, well, if we wanted to, we could just wait right here and make the time later. It's almost at 12 o'clock. They used to do it at 10.
Yeah. Where's the winners at?
Well, the season hasn't started yet. It's still on the old season. I'm about to start it right now. Good luck, everybody.
Jackpot hasn't rolled yet. Alright, yeah, there's the new season.
Yeah, the new season's I started it myself.
Request randomness.
Come on. Give me the JPZ, baby. Give me that B. Come on, baby. Pick me, baby. Pick me, baby. Give me that 3,000 nanny. There we go. Hey, stop it, you silly ad. 8661.
8661, huh?
Who that?
I'm about to look for you. Bula.
Nice. And then 161.
161 is
Lalo.
Lolo.
Lalo. And then
Nice. Lolo will be happy about that. 4192.
92.
Orca.
Nice.
1865.
Ooh, nice.
Electabuzz. 5082. Barracks.
Hit 4 spots. We'll take it.
2942. Hazardous. 1331. Oh, no, that one. I got 36 banana. Jeez.
Just enough to come back. Go. Nice. I got 4 for 25. And I got 200. So that's pretty decent. I got two. $194. Nice. Not bad. Where's my notebook?
Need to change out some armor, I guess.
Didn't commit anything. Yeah, more this season from the jackpot than I did last season. 190.
There you go. I'm at 795 base with the right you said on that new one that I bought.
Nice, nice.
I could probably give him the hammer. He'd have a little bit more, but I don't think he needs it.
I'll take it though. 6407 banana now. See, if you don't, someone will.
For what?
Sell. 6786, was that you?
Do what?
Okay, I know who that is. 6786. I have that written down somewhere.
What did they do?
Okay.
They sold banana?
Yeah, yeah. They probably have to just to recover RON costs. KR7.
Yes, KR7.
If you don't, somebody will. See, it could have sold 28 cents. 26 cents. Oh, it didn't even go that far. 26. That was like 24. Oh, it does say 24. That's weird.
Oh, 25, pretty much.
Oh, no. Just had to refresh. There we go. See, I would have sold. It'd have been 3 times more than this. So it would have been down to like 22 cents. And then they would have sold 21, 20. So it's just like, it's just the cascading effect of that.
Yeah. Time to buy a doodle. Bro, what is this guy's problem?
He's just rage baiting.
What? The Demon of Heaven's Gate. You don't get any rewards for that anymore?
It's Koku, so it'll just be XP. Hey, go to Niakia. Am I not friends with Enzo? Oh, I am. I just guess I can send him anything. Yo, what's good, Enzo?
Hey boys, how you doing?
Good, man. Just doing the usual.
What's going on?
Claim banana. Just playing P&K, flaming banana. Won 4 spots. A little bit of Ronky Casino. Seeing who won. Being amazed by 103K, 2300 ETH.
Wait, Shrek with Riz? Why am I not recognising that name?
It's blazing.
It's Blazen's other phone.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I thought I heard your voice.
Yeah. It's me. I just
Last time I saw you guys was what?
Denver.
Airport.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Ron is 62 cents right now, bro. What the
I
hell?
told you, bro.
What
Yeah,
the hell?
bro, look at the weekly performance, man.
No, I know. All that means is that we are actually on the way up.
I mean, how much down can you go? Wait, so Blazing, you live on Twitch now? How's
Yeah.
it work?
Yeah, we're live on Twitch right now. I got you guys in the chat, so everybody can hear you. There's only 5 people in here right now, so.
Okay, sick. Wait, let me share this in WSK.
Yeah, like, I do this at the end of every season, which is roughly the same time of the day every time, but not the same day. So that's kind of what's a little bit different, but
Yeah.
So you just felt like just dropping a little something this morning. Woke up, you're like, it's Friday, might as well, just put a little like baby knowledge out there. Or...
The plan is intentional, man. The plan is intentional.
yeah,
Like, we're dripping it to gems. Gems drip it to babies. And then we go hard with marketing in a public forum, kind of like maybe a month from now. I don't want to promise any timelines because there is some like really cool stuff coming, which like it's quite dev complicated.
yeah,
But
yeah.
right, the stuff coming is so fucking sick, man. Like genuinely, it's so sick. Like I can't wait. Like it's the first time in 2 years. I can't wait to get it out. Like for real.
I mean, I remember talking to you at the bar in Denver, like the little pool bar or whatever, and you're like, I'm excited for what's coming as long as we can get this stuff, taken care of, like the SEC stuff. And I just like the smile on your face when I saw that. I could just tell, like, the excitement. And then now, like, I could hear it in your voice and in Henry's voice and like the way you guys talk. And it's like, so it's cool.
Right. It was as soon as the SEC settlement came in, or they dropped the case. It was like all the shackles got lifted, and we're just free to go.
Yeah.
We're free to go. We had this plan. We had this vision. We had this idea. The idea got iterated on, and then, like, bro, as soon as we got that news, obviously the whole team was thrilled, and then we just fucking, like, we were just good to go, man. And genuinely, for the last 2 years, obviously, I haven't been happy with our performance. I don't think it's been ideal. I think we've been extremely like shackled, and I think now like the shackles are off, and I just think we're doing cool shit again, man. We're fully back to our focus, like back to what we want to do, and like bro, if anyone in the ecosystem isn't happy with what we announced, when we announced the rebrand, then like I don't know if they're true to CK because it is about as cool like CK as you can possibly get, man. Like it's cool as fuck. Even cooler than what we even had planned when I was speaking to you in Denver. Like the iteration since then has just been like amazing, and the wave that the team are on now is like such a good one. So yeah, I couldn't be more excited, bro. Like really excited, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I've been slowly, dripping stuff to Mafia and trying to explain to them, like, around another 2 or 3 hours from now, when Henry gets off, we've been doing VCs. I haven't been streaming it or anything, but it's just been us chatting, and I've been trying to explain to the boys like what they need to be focusing on, essentially, right? The better buys, and there, some listen, some don't, and it is what it is. But I'm just excited for what's to come. Literally, I look at this goddamn fucking map almost like every day, trying to see through the shit.
Yeah, bro. I don't think honestly, like I know you two spoke to me and then like we're good friends. You guys are very involved. I don't think anyone knows what's coming, to be honest, man. Like for real. Like no one would expect this like overhaul and kind of like bringing the ecosystem together holistically. Like I don't think anyone, no matter how in tune you are with CK, would expect what's coming. And I think that's what's the most exciting thing about it. And unless like Henry's been leaking like all the crazy shit, I actually don't know what he says.
No. Bro, it's minimal, if anything. If I was a starving person in Africa, he's giving me a drop of water, bro. Like, like it is not fucking not shit. Realistically, it's more or less just him emphasizing the same things that you guys have already said, which I know now that I've met you and have chatted, we become friends and whatnot. That just the words that you guys have curated to say to us mean a lot. So just rereading over those stuff has just been kind of more pointing me in the right direction of what to do and what to buy, I guess, as a gen holder.
Yeah, and look, like, I'm not going to give specifics that would be like one unfair of me and two just not a thing to do.
Yeah.
But like we said it, like we're going to be, and when I say we've been asset first, if you think about any kind of like reward mechanism or any type of like endeavor that CK has gone on as a brand that is like corresponded to like assets, it has all been asset focused, but primarily from the bottom up, which doesn't make any sense, right? So if you've looked at the success of CK over history, and even just kind of like if you look at literally 15 months ago, back in November of 23, I personally set on a task to like make Banana my core mission and make Gens my core mission. Gens went up to 20 ETH, Banana went up to $4. We did some cool things with base VC. I know it didn't work out. Kong's mark got changed, and we rejigged some things, and we've really put an emphasis on like the provenance of gens. So now we're going token first, and like we've said, there's going to be an upgrade to Banana, effectively like a new token, but not a new token, if that makes sense. New tokenomics design, new emission schedule, new blah blah blah. And we're going to be a token first ecosystem. So what that means is everything you've kind of seen within CK itself is basically going to be centered around the token, which is really cool when you get the design right from an asset point of view and relay the token to the assets that you're primarily focusing on. And that's effectively the design we're going with. And honestly, we've done all the modeling on it, all the mathematics on it, and it's really cool how it checks out. Like, really, really cool how balanced and holistic it's going to be. And that's what I can say from like a high-level overview without going into details. But
I mean,
honestly, it's sick. I mean, you can hear in my voice, it's very rare. Like, I'm a pessimist when it comes to trading. I'm a pessimist when it comes to Web3.
no, I know.
Like,
And hey, we take that with not just a grain of salt, but like with learning, honestly, realistically, because like that's what as we were talking to certain people in Denver, like about taking profits and how to do so and whatnot. It's just like doing that and sticking to it, and like you're a very very smart person, and so from the top down perspective that you just like gave us right there was a really good one overview without giving too much away, and then two again with the excitement in your voice on this versus like other things. Also, I had a question. I don't want to get too far away from, but you posted a chart in Gen Hall the other day about like the market caps and stuff like that. I noticed that little like rainbow shade in the bottom corner. Is that like a graphic that is important? I guess.
it's part of the rebrand, yeah. So it's going to be part of the new like brand identity, and then may or may not be important in kind of like what we're releasing. But that chart is honestly that is super important. So I call it like value discrepancy. So there's a massive discrepancy between NFT floors or NFT ecosystem health and fungible token health. And at the moment, our token is distributed poorly, it's inaccessible, and there is very, very limited liquidity. All three things that we know, like we're not idiots, and we're trying to solve, and we're going to solve. We're not even trying, we're going to solve. And once that increases, everything kind of holistically comes together. And at the moment, I think, like, for example, with my trading strategy and my trading conviction, I look for asymmetry in the market. Asymmetry is basically just a value discrepancy. When there's asymmetry, you pounce and you take advantage of it. If you look at the chart compared to other ecosystem tokens, we have the most asymmetric ERC20 on the market right now. There is no reason that a Cyberkongz, and Cyberkongz is still good, do you know what I mean? We're still the third highest Ethereum NFT floor price, below Punk's, fourth highest below Punk's, Bored Ape, and Pudgy. Like, there is no reason the token should be a 2.5 million market cap. And that's because it's centered around a very niche game that is gated to 15,000 assets with 3,700 holders, and the ERC20 makes no sense. But what about when you rejig it, when you make it more accessible, there's more liquidity? It like might be on a different chain, it might be doing X, Y, and Z. All of a sudden it becomes very, very more enticing. So that's effectively the strategy that we've gone for, and that's obviously where you can see where the emphasis lies. And we know the problems, and with the SEC shackles off, we're understanding like how to get over these problems. And yeah, I mean that's a long-winded TLDR on it.
No, I mean that's awesome. That's kind of like what we've been looking for, slash on top of some extra stuff for people who are here watching and whatnot to make the show good. So it's nice. But for those who don't know, I have on screen. I have the chart that I'm explaining that we were talking about that brought from the question that I asked. You can see that Banana and Cyberkongz are, not even our token valuation isn't even comparatively to where it should be versus the floor price of the main NFT collection.
Yeah, but it's nowhere near, right? Like,
Yeah.
literally nowhere near.
Yeah.
And it isn't my job to like, you know what I mean? It isn't my job to go preach the gospel of why banana should be worth X, Y, and Z. It's just not my job. But like, I do feel as like kind of like head of BD role, that I should be pointing out discrepancies, and I should be pointing out like where ecosystem focus is. And that's effectively like what I'm doing now. That's what I've been doing in Genhall. That's what I've been doing in WSK, and that's what I'm going to continue to be doing. That's what I'm going to be doing on a marketing front once things pick up and once modeling is like correctly done on a more public forum going forward. But I feel like that is my duty because at the moment I really do feel like there's a massive value discrepancy. And it isn't like I'll pump your fucking ecosystem token. It's literally like look at the facts, look at the data, and then once you see kind of like the change in tokenomics and the change in modeling, I think you guys will kind of understand and maybe come back to this conversation and be like, okay, that made sense.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just excited to see what's coming, man. I really am.
Hey guys.
What's up?
Hey, thanks for sharing all of that. That's actually like really good information. The question I had, Enzo, was do you know how I've seen what you call it the redacted coin what do you call it what's their name, Godzilla's, that's what they used to be called. Yeah, exactly. So are we gonna go like try to sort of follow their model where they get like revenue and it's sort of shared between like gen holders and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean it's interesting, right? So like I think Jirasan had a really good. Their marketing was super good from a product point of view and almost from a disillusion point of view. That they made you think that like Bullex was theirs, for example, but it wasn't. But they've done some really good seed rounds from the Jirasan team, and they've got some good products that are generating revenue. Like the best example I can compare it to is Hyperliquid's tokenomics model, which in my opinion is the most flawless tokenomics model ever in existence, apart from Bitcoin. Like the way they have a product generating platform and the way they distribute revenue back to the token and back to like just the whole system of Hyperliquid is brilliant. And effectively, what we see in the market is in a post-royalties abandoned world, i.e. kind of like ERC-71s are not generating enough royalties to sustain a business anymore, is you need to generate revenue, but you also need to bring value back to holders. So originally, the royalties would bring value back to holders in the way that you produce and create value. So that needs to be done in different ways now. And what you need to do is you need to find product market fit in the correct markets. So if you can find product market fit in the correct markets, which are fee-based revenue models on the Solana blockchain, you are onto a win. And then effectively what you're saying is true, but it's not the overarching like change, if that makes sense. It would just be like a nice additional if we can kind of get like revenue buybacks of the token or revenue sharing potentially. I don't know how that works on a legal front, but revenue buybacks of the token which directly benefits the ecosystem if you get the holistic makeup correct. That would be like a super cool thing to do, which is like what we're planning to do in essence. Can't promise anything, but that would be a cool thing to do.
Yeah, I think anything that leaps forward in something that hasn't necessarily been done before for NFTs will definitely at least start some kind of a run, and everyone will start to follow suit. And whoever can come out with a better product that makes the most right on the back end, and that's who's going to shine.
Well, you need to do it, right? Like you need to do it.
Yeah.
The only reason these top 5 projects that always get mindshare aren't doing it is because they raised a significant amount of money in 21 or 22 and they didn't need to do it.
Yeah.
But effectively, when their treasury runs out, for example, Doodles, it costs money to like get the Arizona IP, to get the McDonald's IP, to get this, that, and the next thing, to pay like C-level execs from Billboard X amount of money. It costs money to do that. So eventually, they're gonna have to start doing it too. Once this like ridiculous valuation VC fund lockup like dries out, which it will.
Yeah.
Like you don't stand any of a chance because you're getting no revenue from royalties, so you're gonna have to adapt or you're gonna basically die. And that's something we realized. It's not just a recent revelation. We realized this 12 months ago. And what you guys are gonna see off the rebound, etc., is basically gonna be in tune to that.
Yeah. That's so exciting.
Wow.
What
That sounds cool.
What is your? So you said Hyperliquid. If could you break me down a little bit on like what that token is, or like what it's EVM, or is it its own blockchain, or like what is that essentially? Like I faded so hard just
Yeah,
for the.
Hyperliquid is an on-chain perps platform. So perps is basically the biggest product in crypto. It's obviously what you do to leverage trade, long, short, whatever.
Yeah.
Paradigmatic perps. So when you like long or short on Binance, you're trading off-chain. So Hyperliquid brought that on-chain with an increased level of transparency, and basically created one of the most like ultimate products in crypto, and changed like the landscape of perp trading, which is one of the most dominant landscapes in crypto. But what they did with that is anyone that used their platform, they distributed 33% of their supply to users of that platform in a 7-month period. So if you just put in a long, you put in a short, you got points, and you got like hype, which is obviously the 19th biggest cryptocurrency in the world right now. And what they do is anytime you get liquidated, you make fees. So, like, that's how Binance make money, or Coinbase make money.
That's funny.
If you buy on spot, if you withdraw, if you put in a long, you put in a short, there's fees. Hyperliquid are generating the same fees. The difference is they're using those fees to buy back their token hype, and then that is used as collateral for any long or short that happens. And it genuinely, if you look into it more, again, I'm not like the craziest person with it, but like I know a decent amount. It is the best tokenomics model from a revenue buyback perspective that I've ever seen, and it's just brilliant. But you need a product that works right. You can't just propose this and come up with some fancy tokenomics and you don't have a product generating any revenue or like making sense with a fee buyback basis. But that's why hype is so good, basically. And that's why I've been a bull on hype for quite a long time now.
Yeah, no, I think you got me sold too. Honestly, that's fucking sick. I've traded so much
Yeah.
and got liquidated on Binance plenty of times, only to possibly get paid for that.
Well, that's the thing as well. It's like it's rumored that like 33% on the second airdrop is going to go back to the same kind of thing, or maybe like hyper EVM. But that's why it's been like one of the best performing altcoins this entire cycle, and that's why it's literally 19th on coin market cap right now. Like it is as good as it gets, basically.
Fuck yeah. That's fucking awesome. Thanks for that breakdown. Yeah, I've pretty much been fading almost all altcoins, but that actually makes me want to buy one.
Yeah, I mean, like I think it's God, 2.8x from the lows, from the April lows. So, I mean, maybe not the best time to get in, but
Yeah.
from a market perspective, honestly, just wait for the corrections on altcoins that are basically 4x from the bottom right now, and they're going to be the runners this cycle. Same in 21, same in 2017. Like, history just repeats when it comes to that kind of stuff, basically.
Yeah. Well, fuck yeah, bro. You gave us hella good information today. Shit.
Yeah, no worries. Always down to do that, bro.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we'll have to hit you up next week or in 10 days when we do this again, see if anything's changed or whatnot.
Yeah, how long do you stream for normally?
I usually just go on and put my VX in, but I haven't even started doing that just because we've been chatting and I've been trying to pay attention to you.
Oh yeah, no worries. Oh, bro, if you wanna stream the last few moments of the season, then I can stop rambling, basically.
no, you're good. This is better than fucking doing this, that's for sure. I was actually learning something today. On top of getting excited for P&K stuff. I mean, I've just been sitting here looking at this damn graph thing, this map, right, trying to guess what some of the words and shit. So I've had people put it into like the AI shit, try to figure it out. I mean, some of the stuff you can guess if you've been into like just crypto tokenomics and things of such like that, like what needs to be done, like to help with the create the old token into the new token, essentially.
Yeah, I would say it's not like it's not a minor overhaul. It's quite a major overhaul. And what I don't want, and what is critical to getting the comms correct, is I don't want you guys, specifically gem holders, to get upset, or banana holders to get upset, because it could be misinterpreted based on when you see the first information. But like, it really shouldn't be interpreted as such, because once it clicks and once you understand, like, I always use the word holistic. Like, when you understand like the holistic point of view, because what we haven't had is anything holistic in recent times. Like if you think about it, focus has been on P and K, which are VX assets,
Yeah.
and then Amaki, Adidas, etc., which are Genkai assets. But how is that impacting the token, which is flawed from a tokenomics design point of view on playing collecting itself? And how is that helping gens and babies who are paying the most privilege but not getting the most reward or benefit? So we've designed a holistic, sustainable ecosystem, and that's what we need: a holistic, sustainable ecosystem where all parts are interrelating with one another. And that's effectively what we designed, man. That's what we're gonna come out with. Like, I fucking hope you guys like it. I'm sure you guys will. But like at face value, it might seem abrupt because there are a lot of changes to like what you know and what you're familiar with, and humans don't like change in itself. So yeah, like hopefully we comment correctly and everyone's like super happy with it.
Yeah, no, I fuck with that. And are the pieces of the map gonna be multiples being revealed, or is it gonna be like an all at once thing? And then obviously not asking for time, but just curious, what that or chunks of it, I guess.
Yeah, so I mentioned in Gen Hall that a super cool opportunity is going to come, and it is super cool, man. I haven't really seen a project do what we're going to do. Hopefully next week, man. Like maybe in 2 weeks' time. This will
Oh
give better
shit!
clarity to gens.
I'm excited.
This will certainly give better clarity to gens, and then like, bro, we're going to announce this thing like not quick fire, but we're gonna go like public with it. We're gonna do whatever with it, and it's gonna come like quick fire once, and we're gonna make it in a way that is just so easily digestible, like so easily digestible. Like there's no fucking like this affects this and this affects this. It's not that like it's just gonna be straight in your face. Here's what you're getting. Here's what the ecosystem is. Here's what the next kind of like mid to long term entails. And I think people are gonna want to buy into it, like for sure. It's a much more sustainable and better system than it is right now.
Enzo, I was gonna say, like, are you guys looking to like time it with the broader market, or is it just like we're gonna go like right at it?
Yeah, bro. Honestly, I feel like one of our biggest vices has been, and I do think serendipity plays a large part in it, but I do think we've also mistimed markets. If you look at Genkai, for example, if elementals didn't happen, I think the Genkai Mint would have gone much differently. But because elementals kind of like set a horrible precedent before us, like things really went bad. But it's been our mind, bro. I'm very kind of like time calculated and market driven, and I really study patterns from previous cycles from 13, 17, and 21. And the market is definitely influential in what we're doing right now, and we want to make it right, not only for you guys but for us as well as a business. So like we are like not trying to time the market, because you should never do that, but letting the market kind of like dictate the timeline, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, if you've been here for a few cycles, you kind of know it all. If it doesn't fucking match, it's very close. It rhymes. It's very similar. Like so. And this from like 109K down to 75K. Like I've been waiting for this 35% correction. I've been waiting for this because we know it happens multiple times, a 5 to almost 10 times a cycle. Even if we don't look at like 4 year, like the 4 year cycle, like the ups and downs, like it does it about like 5 to 10 times every single time before it does just one huge like trek down.
Well, there's normally, I think paradigmatically there's 4 a cycle. And if you superimpose the 21 chart onto the 25 chart, effectively the tariff crash is similar to the Tesla crash. I don't know if you guys were there in 21 when Tesla announced that it was like going to sell from their balance sheet, but that effectively caused like the liquidation wick down. And it's so similar, bro. It's so similar. Slightly different time horizons, but it's so similar. And as you said, yeah, like history doesn't repeat, but it definitely does rhyme, and I think that's taking place now. And I think Q4 will be extremely explosive. Is my bet.
Yep. We're in the same boat there.
I mean, do you not think that Bitcoin's just gonna leave all these shitty alts behind now?
No, I don't. No, I actually think dominance is very, very close at the top, and I think I would bet like a large amount of money that Bitcoin dominance tops this summer. I think altcoins have been like obliterated, and I think asymmetrically so. And I think if you look at Bitcoin dominance, and I personally think it tops around 68 to 72. And if you look at previous charts, it's been similar. And I think Bitcoin probably tops around 125 to 145, and I think alts have a lot of room right now. And I said it to the guys when the market was bottoming on that like supposed Black Monday. I just didn't buy it. I didn't believe it. I thought it was the bottom of the market. And I called it in WSK pretty heavily. I said, like, if you're going to buy this, it's time to buy it right now.
Yeah, no, I remember that.
Yeah, altcoins are so much more appealing when they are 4-5x off all-time high. When you're buying MOG or whatever, you're buying PopCat, etc., and it's like 1.4-fold time like after all-time high, like yeah, you can make a play on it. Maybe you're using leverage, maybe you're using perps, and you're trying to make like a scalp play. But like, you're not going to make too much money when you're buying Pengu, for example, at 92% drawdown in a 3-month period. That's where you're going to make money, but it's just so hard psychologically to buy. And I really think alts are in that position right now, and I think Bitcoin has dominated hard and like vehemently, and I think institutions have played a massive factor into that. But I really don't think buying Bitcoin is the play right now, whereas I wouldn't have said that for the last 3 years because I've been predominantly buying Bitcoin. But I've been scaling out my Bitcoin position into alts and USD and stables.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, I'm just curious, how much longer it will be dominant before, I mean, like, I just don't know. I don't know if people are going to take a lot of those profits and go directly back into alts, or if they'd rather just go into stables. Just because of how horrendous shit's been with alts.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like when it's so horrendous that you can't possibly conceive a time that they'd go back.
That
and
feeling.
Fucking all these, yeah, and all these
Literally.
AI coins are down 90%, and all these like blah blah blah. That's normally the time you buy, honestly. And when the consensus trade is you rotate profit into Bitcoin, that's normally the time you scale out of Bitcoin. And I hate to say it because I am a Bitcoin maxi, but like that is paradigmatically how it works in the market. And I really think Bitcoin is very, very close to topping in dominance.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, with what we've seen with ETH over the last 2 days, I mean, I feel like that's kind of a step in the right direction.
Yeah, ETH's the way
it only like reassures, I think, that what Enzo was saying.
And you guys gotta also consider on altcoins that people are looking for access. So Bitcoin is already super high in market cap, so there's a lot of people hungry to make more money. That's why most of the time we see alt season, spiking after dominance tops on Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's so true. And in 21, honestly, Bitcoin I think drew down maybe 15%, but altcoins were ripping like 400 to 500%. It's like, honestly, you wouldn't even expect it. And that's when dominance really, really takes a hit. Like, really takes a hit.
Yeah.
But I don't think we see that till Q4. I think Bitcoin dominance, like, stays kind of stable, maybe tops out kind of like end of Q2, like mid Q3. And then, I didn't want to say altcoin season because honestly, there's been an altcoin season. If you were there for like meme coin mania or like any part of the AI coin,
AI.
Look,
Yeah.
like that really was an altcoin frothy market, and if you missed it, you were kind of just in the wrong things, which is fine. But just what I can say right now is there's no way this is the top, in my opinion. And study the coins that have bounced the hardest, and if there's corrections, take conviction plays on them. It is just what I'd say, and just honestly, just remember to take profit, man. Like, I've been taking profit. Like I took profit 2 days ago. Like just like remember to do it. Just don't get caught up in the madness of it.
Oh, true.
Yo, Enzo, what's a guy got to do to get a retweet on this tweet from you, man? I just put it in Gen Hall. It's just my trench bot tweet. I just know that we like really all need to be like focusing on like getting that out there, like TrenchBot out there, because it would definitely help if everybody was using it. Not just everybody here as well, but like everybody elsewhere.
Yeah, for sure. That's free to it.
Gang, what a guy.
Synthesis, what were you gonna say?
So yeah, I was just gonna say, like, have any of you guys been following like the analysis on the M2 money supply? I know like there's a guy on crypto Twitter, Ben Cohen or something like that. He's quite big in the Bitcoin dominance theory thing. Just wondering what your guys' take is on that.
Yeah, I mean, bro, I always say, like, crypto is a game of narratives. And if enough people group together to form a narrative, then the trade is normally going to take consensus until the consensus isn't there anymore. So if people think that monetary supply is increasing and that's going to, like, rotate to risk on assets, such as, like, cryptocurrencies and such as Bitcoin, then if you can catch that narrative in an early, mid enough wave, then you will make profit on that trade. But it's when that trade, like, all that consensus basically gets invalidated and gets decoupled, is when you need to get out. But there's such sound logic to it. If you look at 2020 when the money printers were really turned on, we had furlough here in the UK, you had stimulus checks in the US. Like, it just made sense, and it was a recipe, and really good traders caught it early. People got caught in the back end of it at the end of 21 when obviously the M2 was like going down, and yeah, you got wrecked basically. But I think it's a great trade now. I don't think there's like much validity to it in the long term. I think it makes sense logically from a macro point of view, but it's just a narrative spin, man. It's like anything. If you can catch a narrative spin, and you get it early in the mid, then you're gonna make a lot of money. But if you're coming in at the end of this, then I think you're fucked.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you're buying altcoins would be probably more of a less of a thing, but only the ones that we're truly believing in at this point. And yeah, we're gonna have a good time from here till the end of the year, but like, we also need to consider selling realistically, right? Like, we have to, unless you want a round trip again.
Most altcoins are gonna bounce here because the market is bouncing, and then they're gonna die again. But there are some altcoins that is going to outperform their notional asset. For example, MOG on ETH, Sparkcoin on Sol, and they're going to rip continuously through the cycle going into Q4 when it's probably the most explosive time. But like, you need to know the ones. You need to study order books. You need to study like volume and liquidity depth. You need to understand like where traders are going to. Otherwise, you're basically, you might as well go to the casino and bet on roulette. Like, you have probably better chances there than you do betting on some of these altcoins.
You can just go to the Ronki Casino. Basically 50-50. It's fucking 50-50 minus 5%, bro. It's basically Baccarat, no fucking cards. Look at this shit. You can bet Ronki, Ron, Ronan. Dude, it's literally a fucking coin flip. Minus 5%.
Even, I think it's a brilliant example. Like, Ron Meme Coins is a brilliant example of liquidity rotation and understanding order book flow and understanding where liquidity is going to rotate to. Like, you could see the mass sell-off coming pretty much from a mile away, and you can apply that to kind of any logical market that isn't, like, manipulated or nefarious.
It's great. You said liquid.
Sounds good.
$25. Dang, so like, do you see a top of Hyperliquid? Where would that be this cycle? Like $100, $200?
No, definitely not 100. All-time high 37. I see it like 1.5 fold that. I mean, bro. I started taking profit on Hyperliquid 2 days ago.
Yeah.
So I have a really large business on Hyperliquid, so I see it running to like 50 to 60. Maybe even higher, but like I'd be out before then.
Yeah.
But Hyperliquid is weird. It's an alt, obviously, but like it's not an alt in the sense that like a lot of people perceive alts as, if that makes sense. It's like Hyperliquid's different, man. I think it's the best product to ever exist in crypto. And I think it has the best team behind it. And I think it has the best tokenomics behind it. So But like, I'm also not married to Hyperliquid. Like, I'm taking profit already. Like, I'm fine doing that. But that one's different. There's something different about that product, that token that just makes sense.
Yeah. And I like the way that you talk about it, and the breakdown that you gave earlier was really nice.
Yeah, it's honestly it's awesome, man. And even if like my explanation was like maybe complex or whatever, just go and grok and say like why are people bullish on Hyperliquid, and it gives such a good rundown. Like AI would just give you such a good rundown of like why does Hyperliquid make sense, and it just does. If you understand where liquidity flows and what product, like it's all about product market fit, right? And what is a good PMF? Like Hyperliquid is the best that I've ever seen since Luna without the Ponzi, basically.
Well, fuck yeah. Thanks. So, couple weeks for some good fun. Ready?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just ready for shit to get exciting again in NFTs. Which I guess that'll happen whenever Bitcoin dominance comes down as well. Or is that even after alts start coming down?
Only after all, you're relying on Ethereum, really. So a lot of people hate on Ethereum, including myself, even though I hold a decent amount of Ethereum. But like, you saw what happens when Ethereum runs, what happens to the alt market. It's a lot more impactful than when Bitcoin runs. Just because of liquidity spreads and LT spreads and basically what happens. NFTs are a weird asset, basically, because a lot of people have denoted like NFTs as fads. Which they are. Like, there's a great argument that NFTs were fads. There's a great argument that NFTs are like valuable assets as well, and great enablement assets. But, mate, like I have no idea whether liquidity rotates on NFTs. Is it ordinals? Is it hyperliquid NFTs? Is it EVM NFTs? Genuinely, I don't know. But standardly, it would come after kind of like what you're seeing now on Ethereum, but for like a few more weeks, and then that Ethereum profit would rotate into NFTs itself. But like, we do not have enough data points to understand if that's going to be the case this cycle.
I mean, I'm trying to think of the timing of how it worked back in the day. I feel like just people were making money hand over fist, so had no issue fucking put money in NFTs.
Well, yeah, I mean, bro, back in 21, obviously it was a novel after, and it was like, the thing is, it was deemed as this revolutionary asset, similar to meme coins now. Meme coins is a representation of culture. NFTs were digital authentication, which meant loads at the time. It might seem ridiculous now, but it meant loads at the time. Art on chain, reward systems for like MNCs, like multinational corporations, blah blah blah. Like, every narrative was getting spun up. So one, it doesn't have the novel factor anymore. Two, when it was like going off, if you look at the Ethereum chart from late 20s to kind of like late 21, you'd see like Ethereum pumping like multiple folds, and then NFTs doing the same, and there'd always be a lag. Maybe the lag was like 1 to 2 months, and NFTs took a hit in summer, bro. They took a hit. So like when Kongs ran to like 7, 8 ETH and pumps ran to like 20 ETH, these things got obliterated post like Tesla crash. Like Kongs went back down to 1 ETH, pumps went down to like 6, 5 ETH, and then everything just went crazy again. But the problem is that no one has truly like mapped out the data points on the kind of like inverse correlation of Ethereum to NFTs. And like that's what people thought it was. Like if Ethereum goes down, NFTs go up, but then that got disproved. And then people thought if Ethereum goes up, NFTs go up, and then that got disproved. So that's the problem. There is no true like data points. So to Blazon's point, where like history doesn't repeat, it rhymes. We actually don't know that either.
Gotcha.
For NFTs, at least, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, we know it for tokens, like for sure,
Yeah.
and just like liquidity spreads. NFTs is such a weird one. That's why it was, in my opinion, and I say it to like normies as well. That is the best market that will ever exist, because not only have you got the USD value of Ethereum going up, you also had the Ethereum value going up as well. So you were getting a couple month trade, which is extremely rare, and that's why things were going so parabolic now.
It was unreal, bro. Like I just remember like one day waking up and it was this price, and the next day waking up and it was like 2 or 3x the same USD price, and like 5 or 6 ETH up, bro. I was like, what the absolute fuck is going on right now?
It was crazy, man, because people had already accumulated ETH, and if you look at the ETH ICO, Ethereum spread to wallets was so fucking high, bro. Like people were, and not only that, couple that with, in 2020, Ethereum was $80, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, fact check me. I think in January 2020, Ethereum was $80. You gotta think,
See.
in January 2020, paying hundreds and hundreds of this token at $80, and then all of a sudden they're trading JPEGs, but they're under the psychological mindset that free ETH is $240, but it's not. It's $12,000.
What do we say?
And that's
2020?
why it's $12,000. Early 2020, yeah, I think like in the like when COVID hit, maybe I think it dropped to like $88.
Yeah, but I mean, so use
I got
that.
180.
Use that. How that played out right there. Do you think that could happen again though? Like ETH would have to run up to like 10K.
I think if ETH runs to 10K, I think NFTs are going to hold their floor and maybe even increase. So like,
Yeah,
I think as a
that's
leverage,
what I'm saying. Like the
Slowly.
80 to 2,000 run, like it would have to be. I mean, we'd have to go to like 15K, 18K.
and that's
Something like that.
But the problem is like a lot of people in the NFT market were buying ETH for 4,000,
Yeah.
3,600, 3,200. They don't have that lower cost basis like they did back then. That same psychological mindset of, oh, free ETH is $400, who the fuck cares? But they don't have that anymore. So it's really hard for that, what I call notional value, to increase so dramatically. Like, it's really hard for that because they're attached to Ethereum at the top. Do you know what I mean? People
2,000,
think about Jackpot, they think, yeah, they think about Jackpot at like 600 grand, but like realistically, bro, like Ethereum was only at that for X amount of period, and Jackpot was just like a leverage bet on that, and they just went insane, basically parabolic. So I don't. The same thing won't happen. The same thing might happen on a different chain. If you look at Hyperliquid and you look at Hypeos right now, I think they've gone from like $600 to $5,500 because hype's going up. Because it's like so similar stuff can happen, not to the same scale though. You've also got to think, and this is a huge one. The market has matured. So every single day that goes by, the crypto market is maturing. They understand that. Right, what I was saying to you in Denver, up in the mountains, you need. Sorry, you need to take profit, right? I'm talking to you like you need to take profit because I've been there before. Like I matured through the market. I understood that like this shit is short-lived. You can't trust teams. You can't do X, Y, Z. And the market has matured too. An NFT mint is extremely unlikely to go to 10 ETH because too many people are relentlessly taking profit at 0.5, 0.7, 0.9 ETH, even if the project was as good a caliber to make it 10 ETH back in 2021. So market maturity is a massive factor in all of this, and that's why I don't think NFTs can go on the same kind of like insane parabolic they were because there was no previous data before that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I feel like ETH would just have to do something absolutely mental for there to be another situation where people feel like they've got 3 ETH for $240, like that type of deal.
And even then, how do you even compare? Like 80 to 4,000 is what, like a 50x basically.
Yeah.
Like for us, the 50x from here, man, we're 100 grand ETH, which is like a fucking 19 trillion market cap. Like, you know what I mean? It's never gonna happen.
Yeah.
But bro, I mean, I work for an NFT project. I firmly believe in an NFT project. I firmly believe in the value of community. It's just matured. Like all you guys here are mature investors now. Do you know what I mean? All you guys have realistic expectations. Do you want babies to go to 10 ETH? Sure. Is it realistic? Honestly, no. Like, no, it's not. Is it realistic for Azuki to get back to 40 ETH? No. Bored Apes, 150 ETH? No. Punks is probably the only one from like an art collectible standpoint, even then it would have to gain tractions from like severe art collecting communities and from like the traditional sense. So the market's just matured, so the gains are lower, the kind of like APR assessment is lower.
Okay, so just to go back to that number that we threw out there, you said $80 it could have hit that somewhere on some exchange, but I see 117, basically 120 on March 18th, 2020. So from $120 all the way up to $4,815 per Ethereum. And bro, like I was telling my little brothers who at the time were, I think, 13 and 16, Ethereum for about $100 to $150. So like I get that mindset of, because that's how I blew all my fucking ETH. Was I was like, oh, I only spent 100, 200 bucks on this shit. I was like, I can go drop 12 ETH on a baby, bro. No problem.
That's the thing, bro. And honestly, once you understand the trading game, so I always say to people, your trading, so the chart is a psychological painting. So what you see on any chart today, yeah, if you go to any meme coin chart, like pull up the GOAT chart, it's basically your mindset painted on a chart in red and green candles. So once you understand the psychological mindset, and then understand the maturity that comes from that psychological mindset, you'll understand trading at a level lot better, basically. And when it's novel, when it's new, when the cost basis is so low, like Blazin just said, like you're buying at $120 1 year prior. Do you know how crazy that is? Once you understand all of that, you understand expectations, and you understand take profit levels, and you understand where certain assets are going, and like where maturity takes you.
Yeah, that's so good, because I was, before you got on the call, I was literally just explaining to Rice. I go, bro, I've been buying babies all the way fucking down. You bet your fucking ass when we hit 1 ETH, I'm selling one, and you bet your ass if we hit 1.2 or 1.3, I'm selling another one or two. I go, I've been waiting to take profit for fucking the longest fucking time. I go, bet your ass I'm fucking selling some that I have good cost basis on. So.
Well, that's another thing as well, bro. It's like in 2021, like Rice, like no one was waiting to take profit. No one was underwater.
Yeah,
No one was
that's the big issue.
Yeah.
Is like I told Blazin, he told me that. I responded, I'm like, dude, I know you're not the only Kong that's looking to get out and take some of those profits whenever they are available. So like I just see it being so hard to try and like do some crazy numbers. Like truly, people are hurting for 20% gain more than ever right now.
For sure.
And so I just think it's super unhealthy to try and build some crazy growth.
It is. And number one, he's not the only one. Like, I'm not an idiot. I know he's not the only one.
Yeah.
Number two, nor should we be focused on that it's an issue him taking profit. Like, I'd encourage any holder to take profit when it affects their like financial situation or when they made a good investment. I'd encourage anyone to do that. It's our job as a company to attract enough outside investment that it negates him taking profit and previous holders taking profit, brings new people on board that provide value to the community and prop up everything in a continuous manner. That's the thing. It shouldn't be done in a Ponzi. It shouldn't be done in a short-term time frame. It should be done is you're swapping one holder for one holder, and the new holder is bringing more value, and that's our job. That's not your guys' job. That's our job to do that, and that's effectively what we're trying to do.
That and that and all that does too is it makes it so like, okay, I go and take profit. Yeah, we got somebody new who's hanging out as well. And like I'm getting paid from old times, one, and then two, it's like all we're doing is spreading out the distribution realistically, because we have people like me who have 10 babies. We have people like me who, I don't have 10 gens, but some people have like 3, 4, 5 gens. Like if they sell, all it does is make it harder for others to sell because they have less now. If you have one, you're only going to sell when you're hopefully up, right? In good eyesight, right? In good trading, but not everybody gets to do that, of course. But it's just like we can have a higher rise over time at the end once distribution is more split up and we do have new people. Like, it just is what it is.
Yeah, bro, honestly, that's why I always cringe. I don't cringe, I understand it from a holder perspective. But, like, when people say, like, oh, I don't understand why people are listing gens, but it's fine. Like, it's fine. You need to find a floor. You need to find a floor equilibrium. Like, market mechanics are working for a reason. And it's like, if you listed at X price, and you didn't sell it at that price, it clearly wasn't worth that price. So if you lower your price, that's fine, you'll eventually find a buyer. And newsflash, that buyer will want to make a return on X percentage above that price. So they're more bullishly inclined to hold, and that's how you continuously go up. And it's like the whole thing of like, oh, we control the floor, like blah, 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 which I see in Gen 4 from time to time, and I understand it. Like, you guys are holding assets and you want your investments to go up. Like, I fully understand it. Like, I was there for a long, long time. But that mindset doesn't work. That mindset doesn't work. And honestly, when I see someone listing lower, I actually find it bullish. Like, even if the gen doesn't sell for a week, I still find it bullish because I know someone is going to come in and hopefully that new buyer has a vested interest in Kongs and they want to stay for the long run and they want to take profit at a higher price point. And that's fine with me. Like, I'm more than happy for that. And that's fine with me. Like,
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
I was just like, just on that, Enzo, we were, so I've just obviously been looking at the discussions and stuff, and a lot of people, this is like an ongoing thing where you'll find, gens typically dump, or because, I mean, people are just accumulating banana, or they'll dump banana, for example, after like holding it for forever, as well as start dumping gens. Like, what is there going to be something to sort of overcome this this sort of hoard, like the gens that sort of been hoarding for such a long time, to then offload at a certain point and then not sort of affect the floor so drastically as it does now?
yeah, it's a great question. It's a great question. I think I'll start off with. So effectively, when I say the tokenomics is flawed, the tokenomics is flawed because the emissions are flawed. So obviously, I mean, you guys are like gen holders here, right? You get 10 bananas per day. It's not healthy because if you hold over X requirement of gens, that is basically skewing your distribution to the negative side. So like. It just does not work, man. I know people like the concept of passive income, the concept of daily emissions. That does not work ever. So one, we're changing that. That is going to be changed. I'm not going to elaborate on how that's been changed, but like we're going to do something novel the NFT space hasn't done before, and it's going to be really fucking cool. And I'm really going to enjoy it because it like brings much more equilibrium between like holding an asset and like waiting for the rewards versus just like getting your rewards and just dumping them freely with no contribution. That doesn't make any sense. But bro, the people that are like dumping banana en masse, and you know who they are, they're on chain, and it's fine, I've got nothing against them, they can do whatever the fuck they want. But like, they're clearly not like, you know what I mean? They're in it purely from a monetary perspective, not for like an actual investment in the ecosystem perspective. So we're changing that. We're changing the way that emissions is done. We're changing the way tokenomics is done. And we're going to make it so you can't just hoard X amount freely by doing fuck all and you just sell. That is not going to be a thing anymore. But in terms of current design, bro, this is why I keep coming to Gen 4 and I keep saying it. I'm like, our tokenomics is scuffed. There's nothing we could do. Genuinely, I could introduce all the sinks in the world. I could introduce all the burn mechanics in the world. Nothing would happen right now, man, because the emission schedule is so bad. So, like, long answer short, we're changing the way that that's, like, able to be done, basically. And on top of that, much more accessibility to banana. Like, it's so hard to buy it right now, man. It's so hard to buy it. We're on no CEX. The DEX is extremely hard to navigate. Which chain are you buying on? Which chain has the most liquidity provision? Another thing, liquidity provision is going to get upped massively. Like, we're able to do that now with the SEC. And yeah, I hope that gives you a good answer. Let me know if it doesn't, but that's effectively what we're doing.
No, that makes a lot of sense. It was just like, obviously, as a sort of, when you think of it as an investment type of concern, then that is a concern that a lot of gens would have had if nothing had changed. But the idea is good, and like I don't know too much about, like, sort of when you're mentioning how it's gonna. There's going to be a lot more contribution, or it's not going to be as passive as it, like, it probably once was. Like the whole Yaps thing and Kato and the stuff that you hear on Twitter, and where people are obviously doing that and then they're getting more rewards. I think that's how the system works. I'm not too clued up on it, but is is it sort of similar to that where gens will have to sort of promote in a way and then get points? I mean, we did something similar with Genkai, I think, where we tried to get people to do that, and then you would get ranked, and then you would get maybe a whitelist or something like that. I think it was back then.
Yeah, to an extent, bro. You won't have to do anything. Like, I'm not gonna like make you fucking post on Twitter to get your like tokens. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna make you do that. But like, in the sense of like holding time, for example, like being in the ecosystem, etc. Like that might attribute towards your rewards. And if gens are thinking that it's going to be daily emissions, that is, I can tell you firsthand that is not going to be the case. Like you will not daily emit banana. Like it is the most flawed thing. All the intelligent gens know that is not the correct thing, and that is going to change. And bro, we are by no means fucking you over. We're only going to make this better, but that is not going to be a thing. But like Simpsons is like, I ain't going to make you tweet once a week about how bullish EK is to like get your tokens. Like, it'll be fine. Just like hold the asset and support the ecosystem, and you'll basically get it. It's just in a much more sustainable. And as I keep saying this like word holistic way.
When there's, I think on the graphic you guys released, one of the unblurred boxes is staking.
Yeah.
Which that alone just kind of, I feel like will help a lot with that problem. Just gives people a reason to lock away their banana. Not,
you guys know
not bet for whatever.
Did any of you guys tell me the percentage of circulating supply versus total supply? And total supply is calculated by gens yielding their whole 10 years. Does anyone know the figure?
No.
Does anyone know the figure? Anyone got a guess of the figure?
Well, I mean, I could do the math real quick.
Anyone got a guess of the figure? Nah. Tell me now, like first impression, like first perspective on it. What do you think it is?
On how much banana is still to be generated with all the gens?
Or total.
No, just what do you think the circulating supply is over total supply? Like what percentage?
60.
Way lower, bro.
I was gonna say like 30.
Yeah, 32%. So
32% of banana is actually out.
actually out, yeah. So 32% of banana is actually out. So do you understand, like, if you have any burn event, any sink that's actually used, like, P&K isn't a sink because it's basically like, it's like a washing machine.
Yeah.
So any active burn event, any sink, any utility, any purpose, even staking, think about the rewards you guys have got given, then think about a staking mechanic, which is normally you stake to get rewards. Just think about that, and then you start understanding the system a lot better. And when you think about the circulating supply versus total supply, the market cap versus FTV, like, I think you start getting like a big picture of where this thing's going and the potential it has.
I'll go get a job.
Yeah, well, I mean, that makes me think, man, like, only 32%'s out right now. Imagine if 100% was out. Imagine what market cap we'd be at right now.
I feel like we're
Oh
getting.
my
I feel like
gosh.
we're getting teased right now because now it just makes you. I mean, honestly, that was probably the best alpha right there. What you said. Between the last four things, whether it's staking, the way banana is created, gens not producing daily like that bullshit or basically anymore, right? That is like all the alpha you could necessarily need right there. As somebody who's been in like this and knows like what else is going to need to be done for those types of things, I can kind of like put two and two together and think of like what's coming next, right?
Didn't we get an example of that with like Meme Land and like how they obviously they had their captains and they had the locked amount and then it was unlocked and then like it was that concept didn't they trial it with that and it didn't really work out, I think.
Yeah, you know the issue with captains, bro, is one, it was like a really great mechanic. Not only from just a kind of like tokenomics perspective, but also from kind of like an engagement perspective. It's like you'd want to check your dashboard every day, you'd want to see whatever. Theirs was like all reliant on launch partners. Like ours kind of like isn't. Like we have pretty much a daily flow of rewards that can get distributed. We have a validator on Ronin that can get distributed, a validator potentially on another chain that can get distributed, and we also have the total supply of banana that can be distributed as well. So you're talking about like internal versus external, basically. So if you take the external model of captains and apply it to like an internal balance with external, then you get an actual like sustainable system versus like purely reliant on X launch partner launching an X FTV to make your X amount of stakes like worth it. But like, bro, honestly, the meme land concept is actually brilliant. It's just extremely flawed in execution.
Okay.
Right.
Also, it's super hard to compare with like their amount of circulating supply versus like ours, market cap versus ours, etc. Like shit, you already know. Or you can join the dots on basically.
Not cool, which I think is Edu, asked, for Banana V3, we need to claim the nanas of our gen, or what happens? Maybe Sutsun down.
Yeah, you're gonna need to, but it's fine. We'll comment in advance.
Yeah, okay. I feel like it'll be better to just wait anyways. Unless you wanted to sell your measly banana for 26 cents per banana.
Yeah, bro. I can't even comment on his team member, but like, I mean, I don't know how many subtle hints I can give without explicitly saying it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I think what you said so far has already been a lot, honestly.
Yeah, buy banana. I'll just
Yeah.
go ahead and say it. Everyone in here, buy banana.
Financial
If
advice.
you're not buying it now, you're going to be buying it later. And you sad you weren't buying it now.
Yeah, Farmer said that.
Yeah, Rice Farmer said it.
You sad you weren't buying it now.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's like, I find it cool to talk over, do you know what I mean? I'm just purely talking about the logic from, like, my point of view. Like, the flaws, the solutions, kind of, like, I don't know what's to come without telling you guys what's to come, and...
I mean, dude, to be transparent, like, it's hard to critically think about some of this shit sometimes because it's such a retarded space. Like, it's hard to sit down, like, critically think about some of this shit. So, like, having a smart brain like you that's kind of all you do, come in and be able to share your knowledge, I guess it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, bro, it's fun to do. Like, I love doing it. I wish, like, do you know what I mean? I wish I could just share the entire fucking roadmap and design and concept.
Yeah, I know. Just put the unblurred version in the Niakia voice chat.
Yeah, just drop it for 10. Just drop it for 10 seconds, real quick. Yeah, just drop it for 10. Just drop
Like,
it
you
for 10
need marketing, and you need, honestly, like, and it's sad to say, but I need you guys on your toes. Do you know what I mean? I need you on like the edge of your seat with this stuff. Otherwise, it's just it ain't gonna have the same impact, man. Like once the announcement hits, like it's not going to be impactful in the way that it should be, and the marketing isn't going to be the same that it should be. So like that's just the nature of Web3, and unfortunately, but I also think it's fun for you guys. Like if I just told you everything right now explicitly and told you straight up, like once it gets to it, you'd be like, oh, I already fucking knew this shit, but like you know the logic of the shit. You don't have a fucking clue what's coming. Do you know what I mean? Like you know the staking, you don't understand what the staking is. You understand there's a burn event, you don't know what the burn event is. You know that there's a V3, you don't know what the supply is. You don't know what like exchanges like might get listed on. You don't know anything. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know the logic behind it, and I think that's cool. And I think that should be shared with holders. Like I'm happy to share that with you guys.
No, like that's I think what the biggest, like I said, I keep saying it, but like one of the biggest things that I've got from this is just that you guys have taken multiple projects, essentially like the things that they've been doing, whether they was good at the project or not good at the project, but the systems that they run, they you've gone through it all, and it's just nice to hear the excitement, and like Rice said too earlier, like the way that you explain things is pretty big brain. So like it's nice to hear that versus like we sit here and chat every now and then about just little shit, like little price this, price that. You guys are like so far on the back end and doing what needs to be done, and it's so nice to hear that. So the flaws here,
Yeah.
the good stuff, what works, what doesn't work, what all that.
No, for sure. And effectively, what you're trying to do, bro, is one. I put it out in a tweet earlier. Like, bro, I've made some amazing trades. I've done all this kind of stuff. The thing that makes me most happy is like building out CK. Like, effectively with my friends, like Henry, Adzi, and like all my best friends, basically. and like I get to turn up every day and like build out this project with them, but like give value to you guys and like make you guys happy, and that's worth more than like any trade that I've ever taken. So one, that's cool to do, and two, like effectively what you're trying to achieve is a perfect ecosystem, and perfect doesn't exist. And if you get caught in the constant pursuit for perfection, you drive yourself insane. But like what I know right now is the ecosystem currently is imperfect. In fact, it's on the other end of the spectrum. It's actually really quite flawed. So just being able to like kind of understand what we did wrong, and I know we did a lot wrong, man. We did a lot wrong. I ain't here to tell you like the last 2 years has been fucking sweet and everything's been like hunky dory. Like it's been far from that.
No, no, no. I mean, it's just been put together with how things were at the time, bro. And it's
Yeah,
just,
I mean, like you
Yeah.
said, nobody knew anything back then. Like you guys did with what you just fucking figured out.
you did
Yeah,
what you
the Wild
you
Wild
did what you
West.
could do with what you had at the time and got shit going and running and kept things alive at least, right? Like whether it was Genkai, whether it was P and K, whether it was updates whether of P and K, whether it was just even VCs like this now, or chats and X and shit back in the day, like you know, all those things were just built as like a train moving, and you just were fucking upgrading parts as you could, right? And now it's just like we'd have to pull over, fix what we need to do, and then get going again, back on the fucking trip, you know.
That's what it is, bro. And like my hope is like there's 6 people in VC on a Friday night. For me, it's 9:20. I'm hoping like when we announce this shit and the hype comes back, bro, there's gonna be 100 of you fuckers like in here, like all looking forward to what we're building. Because at the moment, like, bro, if I was a baby, and I'll tell you this straight from a team member and like a really, really active team member, is if I was a baby holder or a gen holder, I'd be fuming with the last 18 months. And you can say, yeah, we did all this, we did all that, but like ultimately we've underperformed, bro. And like I'll be the first to admit we underperformed. I'm not here to tell you that like we've done a great job and like you should guys like should praise us and like kneel down. Like we have been like far, far from par, but like we are understanding our roots, like back to what we're doing, efficiently working as a team on shit that we know we can do. And like, bro, we're not trying to create the next IP in Japan. Like, I don't even know what the fuck we were thinking. Like,
that shit was so funny, bro.
literally, bro, but like, we're building out tech products and we're building out blockchain innovation for an ecosystem that wants it, loves us, and like makes sense. And we're doing it for you guys, like ultimately. So, and that's why I'm excited. Like, you haven't heard me on Spaces, you haven't heard me in Discord stages because there's been nothing to come. But like, as soon as this shit comes live, like, we'll be coming every day because I'm bullish on this stuff. I always say the way I measure ideas and like come up with a lot of the ideas with these guys is the way I measure ideas. If I was a holder, I'd be happy about it. If I was a holder, I'd buy off the back of it. That's the way I measure a successful idea. Bro, I haven't released an idea in 2 years that I would be happy with, but now what I'm telling you guys with, like, if I was a holder, I'd be delighted with. So that's the major difference, basically.
Yeah, no,
For sure.
I really fuck with that. So
One thing I do want to ask,
Yeah.
like, what is the issue with? I just don't know why people don't buy or just trade Kongs. Because
Well, like from an outside point of view.
I rarely, like, since I've joined in the ecosystem, I've seen babies or gins on the top 100 page for volume, like maybe 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
So like I genuinely don't understand, because like I'll be on there and I'll see just like hundreds of ETH in volume on just these shit collections that I've never even seen before. Like it's not a new mint or anything, like they've been out. I've just never seen it. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like I struggle to understand why people trade just this random bullshit versus an actual notarized collection that's been around and clearly still doing shit.
Socials, it's all out, bro. It's socials, influencer calls talking about certain project. Like people don't value projects because of what they do. If they value what other people start talking about, and also if you're referring to the old one, the blue chips one, they have PCs backing, so they literally buy back almost every day to be in the top 10 NFT floors.
yeah, they have
And the new
market
one,
makers for
boom,
stuff
is a
like
new
that.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Honestly, this is like what not Paul just brought up is. Wait, is that Edu?
Yeah, that's Edu.
Yeah, it's
Mookie
Edu.
changed my name, bro. Mookie changed my name for the number 10 time 2 days.
But honestly, what Edu just brought up is such a good point. So if you want it from, so I've seen the whole behind the scenes. I've done numerous going through angel rounds. I've seen how NFT projects work. Guys, this is not a fair space. It's and I'm not saying this as pity us fucking it,
Yeah.
bro. Web3 is like this, TradFi is like this, Web3 is like this in abundance. Effectively, what you get is, and you see this with Doodles. I use them as an example. So they would have done an investment raise, which they did. They raised 55 million at a ridiculous valuation back in 2022. That means that they had investors that pitched in altogether to 55 million. That's various different ticket sizes ranging from probably $50,000 to 2.5 million. They have a vested interest in Doodles. That means that when the token comes, they need it to do well to break even on their investment. They are financially motivated by Doodle's success. Therefore, they need, and the best marketing you can do, Web3 marketing is not the same as Web2 marketing, is be in the top 10 volume on NFT marketplaces, because that is constant visibility, that is constant mind share, that is constant retention and attention. So what these VCs do effectively is they wash trade, or Blur Farmers do is they wash trade to keep their project in that space. KOLs are using Doodles PFPs, Azuki PFPs, normally because they're paid by the team. Whale is paid a heavy amount by Azuki.
To rock
So
a
you see
PFP.
Whale posts every day from the
Yeah.
algorithm. But he's paid to be on their program, and there's only 2 people on that program, and they get paid 6 figures per annum. We cannot afford to pay KOL 6 figures per annum.
That is
what happens
fucking
is,
crazy.
as soon as that,
And the only reason they can afford that is because of the VC raises that they've done.
exactly, bro. So you've got this flywheel. So effectively, and then what happens is the flywheel gets even worse. It breaks into a vicious cycle. Once you realize that if you post about Doodles, or if you post about D-Gods, or if you post about Azuki, you will get engagement. This is an engagement space. You need engagement for Kaito. You need engagement for InfoFi. You need engagement for everything. If you post about Cyberkongz, you're not getting any engagement. So there is no reason to post about Cyberkongz. I can't force you to post about Cyberkongz. I can't force ICO Beast to post about Cyberkongz, because he knows that he'll make more money than whatever we pay him just from posting about those relevant projects. So you've got this vicious cycle coming back, mainly fueled by VC investors and KOL backing, that is causing this really, really nefarious circle that is really hard to break out from. And that's not an excuse. We're trying to break out from it. But when people complain about marketing, bro, we could hire the best social media intern, the best asset designer and graphic designer, the best animator, and no one would give a single fuck, because we're not in the flywheel of NFT Twitter, basically. And it doesn't matter how you build, how much you innovate. It's really hard to break through into that. But I believe.
Well, so I guess my question is then, indirectly, what you guys are trying to do then is, instead of going the raising funds route, generating your own income through tech products and then using that to fund the ecosystem.
Say that again, sorry, Rice.
Well, so like you're saying, they've got these funds given from investors, these VCs.
Yeah.
That's what they're using to kind of be able to do all these things, pay, marketing people, pay the KOLs, prop up their collection every single day on all these marketplaces. But is that CK's goal though, with all the tech products that they're developing, is to use that money for the better of CK, or is that just going to be for bettering the tech products?
Okay, so this is a great question. So one, we need marketing costs to push these tech products. So I'll give an example. Pandas is a really popular bot in Discord. They reached out to us. They had an advertisement space for us. They wanted $8,000 per month. Ridiculous for us to pay $96,000 per annum for advertisement space. If we had extra funds, we would probably give it a go. Do you know what I mean? 3 months. Yeah. See how that converts into revenue. That's number one. you're seeing it in every server, every trade you take. It's Trenchbot this, it's Trenchbot that. Who built Trenchbot? Like, it was Cyberkongz. And that's
Yeah, I mean, it's like, bro, it's like I
Like,
think back to whenever Solana was really popping off, bro, and like the very first Telegram bot became a thing. Henry hopped in and like told everyone, he's like, "Hey, I got this Telegram bot. I think it's Trojan," and like everyone signed up on that, and then it just spread like wildfire. Like everyone instantly was using that, and so I really think it's just as simple as something like that. Like it's just there has to be another need, and the trench bot will fill that need, and then boom, it just happens.
Yeah, and I guess it's like, so where does the value come back to TK? Because the problem is, it's one, intangible, two, indirect, and it's really hard for someone to understand how intangible, indirect value comes back to a project. But imagine if we create the next Trojan, right? Or imagine if we capture 10% of the market share of Trojan. They have 212 million annualized revenue. That'd be 21.2 million. Imagine how many servers, how many people are like interacting with your bot. And imagine if Trenchbot is a renowned name like Trojan, and then Cyberkongz built it. Imagine how much direct validity that then brings back to the site.
That'd be insane.
Imagine how much banana buyback we could do with all that fucking money. Oh.
Well, but like that's not even like the thing though. Like I guess that's what my question was like, is that the plan to do stuff like that, like to do buybacks or to pay the KOLs?
That's the plan, but that's not the core plan. The core plan is everything I've been saying to you about building a healthier ecosystem. That's like the building block. That's the cement. That's the brick of the house.
Yeah, I feel like the core plan is just to build out the tech products and make them successful. Like, period. That is the plan.
But like,
and everything else will follow.
Yeah, if you build out the ecosystem, make the ecosystem really healthy, really appealing from an outside perspective, much easier to understand, and then the tech products bring more eyes to CK. And then once you've got this healthier ecosystem and this building block, people are much more inclined to invest. And then you've got the marketing from the proliferation of tech products, and effectively you're creating like a flywheel, and that's effectively how like the business model would work.
Gotcha.
Well. Look who showed up.
Makes sense. I think it's the best route.
What was that you did?
That's the best route, I think, for Kongs, like to be very disruptive, build products that people use on a daily basis. That will basically, if it becomes super popular, that will be like, who's building this? And it's like, what Enzo says, makes
like holy shit, this is Cyberkongz.
Yeah, I mean that's why even before Enzo joined the call, fucking what is this? We've been talking for almost 2 hours now.
And also something that I've noticed for years and years on NFTs with big IPs. I think I mentioned this to Henry the other day. Like pixelated, NFTs, it's super tough to get them branded really good and become a big IP. It's more like outlines. If you see the biggest one are like, let's say Azuki, Pudgies, Bored Apes, they're all basically outline. CryptoPunks is something different because it's punks. But those, it's just a different, feeling for those other projects that they go the IP route. Like, imagine Kongs, Genesis or Babies being like a top IP. I think their art is more like digestible for the masses. So I think that, Kongs should be more focused on what they're doing now for sure.
Yeah, instead of an IP, it's an IT.
Bro, like fintech, apps, disruptive tech. I think that's the way.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think it's a really good idea. The only thing I have with like sort of doing it like that though is it's like, do you think maybe it might get a bit lost in the, because when you look at the Trenchbot and nothing strikes you as it being from like Cyberkongz. There's like Cyberkongz, like the branding or anything is obviously quite different and distinct, I think, and that's done intentionally. Right, and like, is that then like, is it maybe too distinct, like that it's not obvious that it's a Cyberkongz brand? Like, do you think maybe like a picture of a gen should be in there somewhere? I don't know, maybe I don't know, there isn't actually. Like,
I think the team
more direct.
I think they talked about it and just they said that they want to try to keep like the whole tech suite really separate. And it's just like it's kind of like an understood thing. Like they know that if it's a tech product that is serving them a lot of good, like they'll find out who made it, where it came from, and it'll be Cyberkongz. I mean, it won't be hard to find out.
Like
The thing is, let's say if yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it's just like, for example, Pudgy Penguins, right? Their products are it's a penguin. It's a bloody penguin, so you know that it's a Pudgy Penguin. But with all these with a tech product, especially like Trenchbot, do you think that we need to be a bit more direct with it to basically people know, okay, no, that's their shit, like not have to maybe jump hoops or ask that question, like shouldn't it just be fed to them, type of thing?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay, so?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great point, and it's one we went back and forth on for like quite a few months. So it's designed as such, like first off, if you're in Doodles or if you're in any server and the product is called Kongbot, Cyberkongz bot, you're not going to put that in your server because they're a direct competitor. That's like first off. So if you want to proliferate, you need to have like separate branding and make it kind of like a Trojan, a Photon, whatever. And then what happens is, like, when the product becomes successful, that's when you start subtly incorporating Cyberkongz language into it. And when I say Cyberkongz language, I might mean the name. There's more Genesis Kongs on the P&L graphics. So there's more kind of like sponsorship to the collections. Every time a ticket gets posted, it's like, buy a Genesis Kong here. And that you only do that when the product starts becoming successful. You start incorporating the name, you start owning the name more and more. Because you're right, it's completely different. It's not an IP proliferation, it's a product proliferation. So it's like, the way you proliferate it and the way you spread that you are the owner of that product is extremely different to like a penguin being in a store. But like Simpsons, it's such a great point, and it's one we thought about like deeply. And I think that's the way we do it. It's like you subconsciously bring it into them instead of Pudgy is so conscious. Instead, we're doing it subconsciously. And the more successful the product gets, the more like we proliferate the brand itself as well and start like taking ownership and name for it. So what you're saying.
Makes sense. Yeah, that's quite sick.
I like it that way.
Yeah, it's cool. Also, Synthesis, where you from? That's definitely a UK accent.
Yeah, I'm from London.
Right.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm from Birmingham, bro.
Okay, nice one.
Yeah,
We should link up.
Yeah, definitely, bro. Go for a pint.
I don't drink, but maybe we can go somewhere nice.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, it's nice talking. Like to be honest, like I'm here in the server. It's conversations like these are about like sort of the strategy and the tech and that stuff. So I really get alive when I hear about this stuff. So when you're talking about this, I'm like, yeah, this is the kind of shit I want to listen to. Do you know what I mean? And I think like maybe there should be more of this, and I would love to like because I'm learning so much. Like what you've been talking about is, and I'm sure everybody here that's been listening is learning so much by the way you're sort of breaking it down. Yeah, maybe we might not understand all the concepts, and I think you Blazing was saying like it's probably like maybe a bit above what we would normally talk about or how we understand things. But I think the more you talk about something or the more you sort of try to understand something, it then gets a lot easier, and then you can sort of break it down to everybody and then sort of explain the concepts easier to everyone.
Yeah, bro, it's such a good point, and honestly, like feedback from you guys is like so valuable because do you know what I mean? Like in a realistic world, I'd love to be able to just send you guys a voice note in Gen Hall of everything that I've said on this 2-hour conversation.
Yeah.
And it just like and do you know what I mean? Everyone just fucking gets it and it's calm. But you've got to think like, and in Web 2, the product speaks for itself. Or in Web 2, like if you're pitching to investors, if you're a startup in Web 2, you're not hiding anything, man, because you don't need to like tease or have any speculation. There is no tease or speculation. Like that is like a ridiculous concept. Like if you're selling insurance, like for a fucking weather forecast, like you just tell them what the product is and they just buy the product. Like, but with with Web3, you need to keep an element of hype, an element of speculation, and an element of like when I said it to Blazin earlier, like keeping them on their toes. So I would, bro, I'd love to do this with like all of you guys on a formal basis, and I think there is a medium synthesis between what you just said and what I just said in way better communication, and how we can do this without telling you our whole roadmap and still keeping that level of speculation and hype. Because as I said, like if I just tell you the whole fucking thing, bro, when it comes to the thing, you're not going to be excited. So like, there's no point in me doing it. But like having conversations like this, I think is so important from a Web3 perspective because like you guys should know, like you invested money, you bought an asset. The asset's like expensive. Like a gen is an expensive asset. Like it's more than a Rolex. You know what I mean? Like you deserve to know like the theory and the strategy of what's going on. But it's so hard to communicate that on like a like professional level or a formal level, basically.
Yeah, I mean, you see on Twitter, like you have these like recaps, and I know like there's lots of them, you know, and I saw meme, was your meme land or like a few captains that did the whole recap of the VC, the conversation with what's his name? What's the guy's name? 9gag, Ray.
Right.
Like, and then they break down everything on Twitter, and so this is what he talked about, and this and that, and he's quoting the Bible, blah blah blah. But I think maybe there's probably space for something like that for Kongs. Like as long as this sort of thing continues and people are actually interested in it. I've been thinking for the longest time of doing something like that for Kongs, but it's just like I don't know. It's like is there the demand for that? Is there a need for that? Like, and that obviously requires time and effort and all that type of thing. So, I mean, like, I very early on, I was like, is there any way that sort of as a gen holder that I could do stuff? And you know, this is going back a year, 2 years back, thinking about, you know, is there any way that I can help? And then, you know, I tried a few things, but it didn't quite work out. But you know, like I definitely think like there's ways that you can be creative, and this might be a way that can spread Kongs a little bit more, and also build up that hype that Web3 basically you look for. Do you know what I mean?
No, bro, for sure. And I think there is room for it. I just always think with Kongs is because there's like, do you know what I mean? Let's just say a lack of KOLs. There always needs to be like interference from the core team itself. And obviously, if you were going to do a roundup, like you'd need to speak to like myself or Henry or whoever. And I do think there is real room for it because if you look at like when we released that leak 2 weeks ago, and I said like to the guys like leak it on Twitter, I don't care. And do you know what I mean? The founder of Berachain's engaging with it. It's getting like tens of thousands of impressions. Banana like went up like it did. Ecosystem assets went up like it did. It clearly like it has a lot of viral impact. So there is room for it. I guess it's just understanding like how can the team cooperate with the community to produce this output. Because like I'm speaking to there's 9 of us here. I'm speaking to 9 of you here. You guys have got a lot of information, a lot of insight into how the company's working, but no one has a fucking clue. So I guess it's just like how can that output be produced from conversations like this, or is it like me and Henry do a spaces? But the problem is, and Henry can vouch for this, is we were doing spaces, but we hated doing spaces announcing announcements or talking about future stuff that we can't actually elaborate on. But like if guys were interested in like the logic and the thought process behind the decision making and how like the makeup of the ecosystem is going to work, like I mean I'd speak to you guys about that like every night. So I think synthesis is a great point, and I think there is a brilliant balance between like the team and community like medium, and we just need to find it basically and just get it out there to more people and get more eyes on it and more visibility.
Yeah, I mean, like I said before too, in Gen Hall, like, you know, I just do this just because it's the one thing that I can show off that we have. It's the only thing that we, other than what goes on in the Discord, that I don't want to show off because I want people to come buy the shit and come in and kick it, right? So it's like, without giving away too much of what's going on in WSK and all that and Gen Hall, like I'm over here telling my friends, oh yeah, just buy this monkey picture. But with all the stuff coming like down the line, like it's a lot easier to maybe convince or talk to other people about it.
There's something to talk about. Like
Yeah,
for a
yeah,
long while, let's be real, like we haven't had shit to talk about.
yeah.
And the stuff we did have to talk about was just not overly exciting. And we knew the entire time, even though we were like, you know, trying things out, IP plays always doing what we could within the legal framework that we could do it in. Like, bro, me, Enzo, Adzi, we're deep into like what's going on in the space. We all kind of have our things that we're really good at, and we know like the things we're doing were not the things that people are like, holy fuck, they're about to do it again. Enzo, doesn't it feel like what we are doing is just like it feels good. Like it feels like the kind of stuff that we know that people like and the kind of stuff that we like.
Henry, you weren't
Yeah, I
here,
mean-
but I get what me and we already as he's gonna answer this probably the same way, but we can just hear it in your voices, bro. Like we can just feel it. You know what I mean? Versus before when SEC was, you know, overhung, it's just like it was more just like not yet, or like not can't talk about anything that we've been doing or any ideas or anything because we just don't know what's going on. And like now it's just like you can just feel it in your voices, how you guys talk, the way you talk to each other, everything. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy.
Yeah, and it's so true. Hey, carry on, Henry.
No, go ahead, Enzo. No, go.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, to Henry's point, like, for a long while there wasn't much stuff to get you guys excited about, and I don't want to be overly critical, overly harsh, but like, if I was gonna come in here and I spoke to you guys for 2 hours with quite a lot of passion, like for what I'm talking about, if I was gonna come in and tease a market to you guys and say that you're getting a scroll for a $3 background, like I'm gonna have a really hard job talking to you guys about that. And like as Henry said, right, stuff that we didn't fully know. Now we know. Do you know what I mean? Now we know. Like now, like you're hearing it in my voice and Henry's voice, like what you just said, Blazer. And like we know now, we know this is the right thing to do. It's back to our roots. It's what the community are going to be in like favor of. It's bringing the ecosystem together. And it's honestly, man, it's so nice for like me and Henry as like pretty like outward, like Henry's community manager. I like to think like I'm very close with all you guys. And like from a public speaking point of view, it's so much easier when you're completely bullish on what you're doing and you have a vision that you're fully aligned with, and you want to preach it to the guys that are invested in the community. Like it's so much easier to do.
Bro, it's infinitely easier. Like we're excited when we're talking about stuff. We're excited when we're working on stuff, and like even I don't want to say it's frustrating. It's like when you're trying to cook. Like you know, Blazin, we were talking the other day. Like everybody that typically joins the chats is active in Web3, knows the itch that you're trying to scratch with the things that you're doing, and like so do we. So like when you're sitting around trying to think of like what actually works, taking into account like what you need to be worried about as a business, what type of expenses there are. Like, dude, think of Enzo. Think of how many things we think about on the tech side, and then realize, like, oh shit, that cool thing we thought was cool, it's not possible. Not because it's not possible, because it would cost a fuckload to do it. I think this is the first time, probably since Prometheans, where we had something that was like something we can do, something that's up our alley. Like it feels like a fastball that's coming right down the middle, and like we're ready to smack it out of the park. But it's been a bit since we've had that, and we know it from the community side. Like everything we were doing up until now is just sort of like, yeah, cool. And bro, nobody outside the ecosystem cared about anything that we were doing. Think this is our best shot at getting those eyes on us again, which is equally going to be difficult.
No, for sure. But it's like problems with like, but a long-term play. Like if I'm speaking openly with you guys, like when me and Henry like conceived the idea of Prometheans, a lot of it was freestyle, man. Like a lot of it was this would be a really cool endeavor. We see a lot of like correlation and overlap with Bitcoin culture, and we wanted to do something cool. And like fuck me, we did something cool. Do you know what I mean? Like you guys like got the benefits of that cool concept. This is like I keep talking to you about holistic and sustainability. Like for the first time, I feel like we've got something, one, that you'd be interested in, and two, it's sustainable in the long term, mid to long term, which is like problems on steroids, basically, which is why like we're so happy to talk about it.
Even my cat's excited.
Nice. Only thing that I'm a little bit concerned, and obviously, it's not my concern, but I know that's, there's like a small noise outside, is that people outside of Kongs that say things roll out, whatever, there will be, people, throwing shade and hating because of Prometheans and this and that. So we'll probably hear some, some bad noise, let's say. But it's only, I think, like a small percent of people that, they're still salty about whatever happened or their bad decisions on it. So whatever.
Yeah, those people are always hanging out there. I don't think we can send anything without getting. But dude, if you're that person, like whatever, man. Like it's been
man.
14 months.
Turn the page. Yeah, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
You should have already lost more money somewhere else and have something else to cry about by now.
Go buy dog. Go buy dog if you want to whine about it, because Leonidas will be out there on a daily basis begging Binance for a listing. So like at least you got somebody who's
committed
your bags
to that.
Yep.
Absolutely not paper hands. Oh man. But yeah, it's so nice to hear that in you guys' voices and to hear all that any other stuff. Uh Especially Enzo's top down perspective on making things sustainable, bro. That's like fucking music to my ears. Anybody that understands business or running a business will understand like that's got to be like one of the main focuses, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, without that, there's nothing. Like everybody's gone past the point of, mints, etc., extraction, and yeah, it's about sustainability. I mean, Blaze, and we've talked about the Frankensteining of the ecosystem over the years, and it's tough. Like when you're doing what we're doing, which if you look at like Enzo and I coming in after things were created, you know what I mean? Like by the time I came on council, well, by the time I came on council, Play and Collect already happened. But even as community manager, I found out about like what Play and Collect was like. I say like 3 days before. It might have been like 7 days before. And so like a lot of the things that were happening in the ecosystem were things like we weren't active about. We weren't active in conceiving, and things just got patched on and let's do this and let's do this, and there wasn't the thought of like, well, then what does that do 18 months from now? What what does that look like? And it's just like it's just time to get everything neat, organized, and like in order, because like without that, dude, everything's just messy. You come into the ecosystem now with all these things we got going, and you're just like, where do I start? What does what? How long does this last for? What does this do? And it's just messy. And like long term, it just doesn't work. And like I'm not saying anybody's arguing that point, but like the the numbers speak for themselves on what works and what doesn't work. And everything we've looked at, it's like we look at the numbers, we see what it does, and we decide like, is this worthwhile to keep, or is this like a product that just doesn't make sense? And we need to work on the things that do make sense. So yeah, super excited though, to be honest with you, on everything that we're doing right now. Feels way more comfy. Yeah, the synthesis. Like on proms. Just like, dude, bringing proms into the ecosystem is just like one more thing to have to focus on that was really never intended to be anything other than the pre-rune. It's the pre-rune. Like, have a prom, get the rune. What does the rune do? I guess what every other rune does.
Well, so with that being said, what about Untitled?
Yeah, dude. What we've done on Bitcoin is like what we've done on Bitcoin. It's always there. It's always something that, like, if we decide in the future there's something that could be done, awesome. But like, the tech on ordinals just isn't there to be anything other than like a cool collectible.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, guys. It's a night for me.
Yeah, Synthesis, nice hearing your voice, dude.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, man. We met once when you came down to London once.
Yeah. Did we meet at the Swingers?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. Great chat with you again. It has.
No, it's good. Like, yeah.
Last time we talked was around proms.
No, I think it was before Gen Kai and everything. So it's been a long time since then. But I was just saying like earlier that yeah, I mean it's like I don't often come in and chat and stuff like that, but I just randomly came across like Enzo and like Blazin and was doing the streaming thing, and I was like, okay, let's see, this sounds interesting.
Yeah, I mean, as always, we do the end of the season streaming just because we want to see who wins the jackpot, blah blah blah, all that, and
Yeah.
And then yeah, it was just me and Rice, shooting shit, chit chatting, and then Enzo was like, "Let's get in," and we just started re-chatting about everything, and obviously didn't get too much detailed information, but just talked about things that work and don't work, and went over like the graphic of like the Gen and Banana market cap graphic and all that other couple stuff. I just asked if it was like in detail to here we go. This one copy.
Also, we've been chilling in here. I don't know what 3 to 5 days a week, Blazing.
Yeah, no, and that's one thing too. I was telling Enzo, I was like Henry 2 hours ago. I was like, well, Henry will be off at like 2 o'clock my time or so, something like that. So he'll eventually come in here. So it's nice for you to join in, and we can just talk about this until he gets here. Because I just usually fucking stream all day until I get my VX in the jackpot, which takes like a couple hours. But I haven't even been doing that shit because I've just been listening to the chat and trying to be a little more involved in listening and shit, But
yeah, you were
this
streaming,
is
weren't you?
yeah, oh yeah. This is like something we do all the time. So I mean, even if it's like not big updates or we want to say, hey, next, like even if we could get I could get like a tweet to Jen Hall or whatever, or like even in community, like, hey, next week when we do, or when Blazin does his P and K shit, like we can all go in and chat and be here or whatever. Like I bet even just that will rile more than, I mean, we have decent 10, 12, 11 people in here or whatever, but I'm sure that'll bring 100 or whatever, right? Like all you need to do is tell them about it and fucking, well,
Yeah, this is what I Can you guys hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
This is what I meant earlier about finding the medium between team and community. It's like if Blazin is doing this, let's say every Friday evening my time. Like, there's no reason like we can't promote this from the CK main account, and Henry, me and you can't just like join on and talk about like basically everything we just spoke about. And it's on Twitch, or like you link it up to Spaces, Blazin, and
Yeah.
and we have like an informal, formal discussion, and the wider community can hear this. You know what I mean? Because like I feel like what we talked about tonight should be known by the whole community, but like it's just you fucking 10 guys here that like got to know it. And that's what we need to improve on. That's the balance we need to find.
I mean, and this is a good start though too. Realistically, like the people that showed up got the biggest gist of alpha that without hearing the exact words of what's going on. So like you did really good at that, Enzo. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, and we got DeCasso in the Twitch chat right now. He's not in the VC because I don't think he's talking or whatever. But yeah, and once this starts to become a thing, we can even try to do on Fridays. I usually don't have too much to do on Fridays, so I usually do my chill day. So yeah.
Like me and Henry have been looking for a forum. Well, it's just not, because me and Henry speak all day, every day.
Yeah.
So we don't want to then go on to like a public forum and just me and him are speaking again. Do you know what I mean? So like having you and having Rice and having Synthesis and having like you guys, and we just have like team to community chat and people can listen in, because like, bro, I get it. Like people don't want a VC, they don't want to be docs, they don't want to, like, I get it, it's Web3. Like but they want to hear it. Like they want to hear it. So like, if we can have this kind of like informal discussion and like the community can host it, because like as soon as CK do it, bro, it's so fucking official. Like, it's so
Yeah.
official. Like, I
Yeah.
can't, I can't speak like I'm speaking now. Henry can't speak like how he wants to.
Yeah.
But if we do it like this, it's cool, bro. It's cool, and you guys want to hear this stuff. Other people should hear this stuff because ultimately, you guys got a hell of a lot of alpha tonight. You know what I mean?
Oh, man.
Effectively, like this is gonna come to play in the next 2 months, and you guys heard about it.
Pretty early.
Henry, by the way, I didn't leak everything, but like you heard a
Wait,
lot.
can
of
we
the logic,
re-leak?
like 2 months in advance.
Okay.
You know what, Enzo? I said
Okay,
yesterday to
it'll
Blaze
be
and-
on
and I
YouTube.
think-
It'll be on YouTube and Twitch. Sorry to cut you off. It'll be on YouTube and Twitch as soon as it's all done. I'm gonna upload it and whatnot, and I'm gonna post it in Gen Hall so you guys can rewatch it. But just think, I'm not like popular by any means. My YouTube barely has as many videos as I do followers, which is probably pretty much all Kongs. All right, not that they're gonna go watch. Not that the notification that they get about Blazin posting about fucking P and K. Maybe I'll change the name on this one to Alpha Leak or something like that instead of what it normally is or whatever. But you know, like the information doesn't spread that fast. So just go watch the video. All right, sorry to cut you off, Henry. Go ahead and say what you're gonna say.
No. I was just saying like what we talked about yesterday. The alpha is banana. I'm not saying the alpha is not gens or babies, but like,
Yeah, bro, at the cheapest price point, that's what it is. Like, and then go ahead.
when you look at what it is, it's like we've said what we're focusing on heavily is banana. You know, like yeah, people can speculate on whatever they want to speculate on, but like the focus right now is banana, gens, babies. But banana has to be healthy. Like it needs to be like a healthy token. So people can do what they want with that. We talked about it yesterday. It's not new news.
Yeah,
But
no,
like, I feel like it's the thing that's just like, you know, people are like, oh, what do I get? I have people DMing me. How many babies should I have? And I'm just like, have as many as you want. Have one, have none, have 10, like whatever you want to have. But like, the focus is on banana. Like,
Yeah.
where do you see, if you're just looking at it strictly from a degen profit standpoint, what do you see as the most potential right now to do multiple factors, right? Like, it could be anything, but like, what's banana at? 25 cents?
26 push.
I was thinking to actually swap all my run to banana, and I think it will be a really good fucking play because running is lacking so much, and I don't see it, you know, with an upside in the like.
You should have did that when the ratio was better. When Ron was still $1 and fucking banana was 5 cents or 6 cents.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah, that was the best play.
If Enzo shared that chart that shows which it sounds like he did, that has
Well, it's in Gen Hall. It's in
Yeah,
Gen Hall, right?
Like, it's just like, dude, when you look at the data and you look at everybody else, and what does everybody else have? Some mind share outside of Ronin, which is obviously, mind share in Ronin does nothing for us. Mind share outside of Ronin is obviously quite important.
Yeah.
That's like, you look at that and it's just glaring. You're like, what is our market cap? What's our FTV? It's so fucking low right now.
If you want to see the chart, I posted in Nia Kia group
I think
voice chat.
1.4 million.
It's 2.
I think it's like 2 point something.
Oh, is it?
It's not
2.3,
cal-
2.4.
Oh, yeah, that's the FTV. Not bad.
But yeah, I posted that chart for non-gens in Nia Kia voice chat. I doubt anybody will even fucking see it in here anyway, so.
What's Dudat right now? What is the market cap?
Here, I can look it up real quick.
83 mil? Okay.
Price 0.8 of a penny. I see market cap. Oh yeah, 80 fully. Okay. Yeah, 40,000 nana stack is pretty good, Daiko. Desaco V, whatever. I can't even remember how to say it.
Picasso?
Picasso, that's what it is. I'm just stoned. I need to eat some food. I've been sitting on this fucking at this computer for fucking 3-4 hours now. He's in the Twitch live right now.
Oh, got it.
No, I was just gonna say also, on like this whole format, and sort of like how we can sort of talk about things like this is that it's like personally, like if it was a lot bigger, I probably guess maybe wouldn't have probably spoken, or because there'd be just like so many different people in there, and it'd be just like everyone trying to ask, and it'd just probably get a bit too hectic. And at that point, I would probably be like, oh, you know what? I'll probably just listen to the recap or whatever, because it's just quite hard to sort of follow everything that's going on. And there's like a question fight there and a question. I mean, a bit like how it was like, you know, when Genkai was going to be released, and it was like we were on like on Twitter, and it was on the spaces, and I mean that was great, like for marketing and engagement. But I think I don't know if like if it's better to keep it small rather than big, and then I think maybe those small the few that it's shared with can then spread it in a much like sort of easier fashion, like on Twitter or however, you know, they see fit, like on Twitch, like Blazing's doing or something like that.
It's kind of the idea. You know, it's tough. You know, Enzo said it before, and we talk about it all the time. When we were doing Genkai, and the spaces, it's so official feeling. It's not like, you know, we would like we'd go into it. Enzo would have like the whole, you know, the spaces mapped out, and we go into it, and for whatever reason, it's like we go from like guys that wear like hoodies and pants and like, you know, baseball caps to like putting suits on. And it just, we would talk about it all the time. I think it took us a little bit to just be like, this isn't us. Like we could go out there on the account and be like how we are in voice chats when it's like, you know, me, Enzo, Adzi, or like here in this voice chat. But for some reason, it's like when you're behind the mic on this Cyberkongz account, everything just feels heavily scrutinized. You don't know who's listening. What could you have said that gets, you know, maybe misconstrued? And we hated it, like absolutely fucking hated it. It's like pain. I think the idea of like small chats, even sometimes Discord stages can feel too big. Sometimes it's just nice to have a small group, and you're just putting it out there, and then from there it leaches out, and it's not official. You know, it's like not an official CK Spaces, because I don't know. And we've talked about it. We need to get out of that habit of just thinking like the CK account is this precious scripted podcast. Like it can be a little bit more degen than what it is. But I think these kind of venues, like, they're good for us. I mean, you know, we've obviously met a lot of the guys that are in this chat, so there's like a little bit more of a personal relationship than just opened up to everybody, holders, non-holders. You're getting asked, you know, especially then when we were like, you know, when we were under investigation, and there just wasn't a ton we could do or say. It just always felt like,
Yeah, tough there
this
for
sucks.
sure.
Yeah, like this sucks, and then you just look stupid because you can't really answer stuff, and you can't explain why shit isn't cool anymore. But yeah, I mean, I love when we all get together in these small groups and chat shit out.
Yeah, no, not just that on streaming, but even before when we were just doing NVC right here, I think it's really nice just so that way, you know, people can hear you guys, right? Like before when SEC was, you know, hunched over our backs, it's like it's no fun, right? And it's nothing really to talk about. So like we get that, like, but now you can hear it. The fun's back, and it's nice.
Yeah, and starting to be able to like leach some of the things out that we're thinking, the things we've talked about, the things Enzo obviously talked to you about today. It's just nice to start, and especially when you know the direction you're going. You know, it's another thing when we're even speculating on exactly what we're doing. You know, it's nice when you know, like, oh, cool, we're locked into this. This is where we're going. And sometimes that takes a bit. Sometimes it takes a minute to like you have the basic idea, like you know the meal you're cooking, but like you don't know what the sides are. Like we're having steak, but like what are we having with it? Potatoes, green beans, you know, some onion and corn. Like I feel like we know. Well, I don't feel like we know. We know exactly what we're cooking. We know the sides. We're just getting ready to set the table.
It's kind of sounding like it's gonna be like a 7-course meal, and we're outside the club and we can't get in.
You're in the club. Yeah, you're in the club. You're just not in the kitchen.
Where I should say not can't get in, so waiting to get in. Sorry.
There you go. Yeah, you haven't seen the menu yet, right? You haven't fully seen the menu, but you have an idea.
Yeah, exactly. We know it's in an example, Asian fusion or whatever, right? That's all we.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no,
We
super
just
fucking good
we just
space.
what's that?
Super good, just like stream today for me, honestly. Not just for the stream, but in just like knowledge in general for all of us here and shit. Like, oh man, it's been so nice.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
We don't have
Enzo hit us
further
all
rules.
with domain expansion.
Yeah, honestly.
With the what?
With the domain expansion, it's like an anime thing.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
But yeah, he made us all smarter. Our brains grew a little bit.
Yeah, I can only take so much of Enzo because like I just don't have the capacity for it. I'm not from Birmingham. I'm more like Birmingham, Alabama, bro. Or is that Mississippi? Yeah.
That's funny.
Nah, he's a sharp motherfucker. He's a sharp.
Yeah,
sharp
no,
motherfucker.
it was nice to get to. I mean, like I got pretty good knowledge, but like what he dropped on me was like maybe 2 levels above me. But at least I was at least able to understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Blaine,
Yeah,
I was hoping you could sort of like break it down for me later on.
Yeah, I mean, banana is basically the short and sweet answer, but
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, I could break it down right now, probably in a really short term of it, but basically is the system now sucks. The new system is going to be a lot better for tokenomics, and
Yeah.
in time, with the products that they're going to create or have created or are working on top of Trenchbot and things like that nature, should drive value back to babies and gens and CK as a whole. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
And banana.
And yeah, but I mean, banana is the main focus. I don't want to leave that out there either.
Yeah.
You can't have enough banana.
Yeah.
Honestly, dude, I think that's I'm conflicted personally. Like personally,
He's like,
just because because I feel like I can't take advantage of what I think is coming because it feels like that's wrong to do.
Team's not allowed to take advantage, of course, as like they're not allowed to enter the raffles and whatnot, of course. So yeah.
Yeah, which I'm fine with, but like
Yeah,
to me,
yeah.
I'm just like, man, when it's like glaring, when it's just
You
like
you wish
there,
somebody was doing this for you as a holder.
Yeah.
it's like, I just think to myself, like, I know the play, like, and the thing is, I'm not
Yeah.
going to play it because I feel like I can't,
Yeah.
but it's like,
Shouldn't
I know that
honorably, right? Yeah.
if there's a play, right, like always leaving the opportunity out there that there's not a play, but if there's a play, I know what it is. I just wish it was as simple as playing it.
Henry, I said this to the guys earlier, man. I said the way we measure success, like from ideas or like from ideation and iteration, is if it is the play, right? And like I said, I said we knew we knew a marquee isn't the play. Like I said, like we knew your scroll of a background change isn't the play. I'm not going to insider trade the play, nor would we insider trade anything. But like, the measure of success is when, like to what Henry said, it's the play, and we're currently designing something, and we have something that we're ready to give to the community. Where like we know it's the play, and that's when like the team feel this tangible thing that Henry is speaking about. And it's like, okay, the player's there. Like, you guys are going to be happy. The ecosystem's going to be healthy, and like we've come up with the good idea. And that's when internally, like, normally you do like benchmark analysis in Web 2 or like whatever. You do data-driven models. You don't have that in Web 3, but you get this like palpable feeling that this is the play. And
it tingles.
Like, yeah, it does.
You're pro.
Basically.
It's like, I just bought whatever, I think it was Decasso or Deca or whoever posted Flub, and I just bought some, and I think to myself, like, I know exactly what to do, and I'm always going to want to bet on us. But yeah, when exactly to your point, bro, when you know that the thing that you're doing is the thing that people want and that will work, it's just like, man, I don't want to be sidelined for this shit. But I know like I know where our heart is, and I know that we're excited for being able to create value for the community. I know that much. So it'll be it'll be awesome to see when it's rolled out, like who's played it right.
Yeah, I said this to the guys. Like, the rollout is gonna be, it's gonna be strange because obviously, like, it is so good, and I keep bringing up the same fucking terms, like holistic and sustainable. But like, it's gonna be so good. But like, I mean, Henry, you can agree with this. It's gonna be abrupt. And I said this to the guys earlier. Like, this isn't some minor changes. These are some major changes. This isn't like a minor haul. This is an overhaul. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is a complete like. This is like. And Blazing, like Rise, I met with you guys. Fucking, I stayed with you guys for 3 nights in a ski resort. Like, I know you guys very well. I think you guys are going to be like shocked when you see it, but in a good way. Like, that shock factor is not what human psychology is inclined to like deal with. So and I think that's still so cool. Like, you guys are still going to be so like, what the fuck? I can't believe they did this. I can't believe they did that. And I think that's going to be the cool thing. And I think like an overhaul is needed because like the ecosystem is not in a good state right now, and we're trying to bring it to a good state. And I'm pretty excited for everyone to see it and just to see the reactions, whether it's good or bad. I just kind of like know with how we've designed it that it's going to be good eventually, even if it just takes some time to figure out.
Yeah, well, I mean, honestly, in today's world, there's no such thing as bad publicity. And so the shock factor, like, the more people that affects, good or bad, like, it's just going to be good to see my whole timeline being strictly CK. It'll be fucking awesome.
If you do it right, it will be. If we do it right, it will be.
Yeah,
Guys,
more bananas. Buy more banana. Fuck running for real.
Yeah. I mean, bro, we do it 2x from here, and we're almost fucking taking out Ronan in price, bro. Like,
Bro, the market cap is so low, it's insane, bro. It's actually insane.
You know, there was I think we had a little chat like this before. This is like going back a couple of months. I think this is when I think Jen's we oh, sorry, I'm like going on again because even though I've said good night, so like I hope you guys don't mind me
nope,
still being here.
not at all.
But thanks. It's something about like, you know, how gens, obviously Enzo, you've like alluded to it. You've said that gens are not going to be passively getting the bananas, their missions and all of that stuff. So that's understood. But it's just like the issue we've always had here was that the gens were always like a very small group. It was like 1,000 of us, and that's it. And like compare that to other 10k collections like maybe Azuki or Captains or whoever, right? Bored Ape. Now, like that is like, and I think we had this chat where like we were thinking, like you guys were thinking, okay, if we do that, then we will probably lose the value of gens, for example. They'll be devalued because of the removal of banana. Now, will that still be the case? Like, will the value of the gens devalue like considerably given all of these changes, or like like, I mean, of course you guys can't decide the market, but is that something that's likely to happen, especially, you know, maybe if we add another collection, and then that obviously then you're diluting, so then we're going to have a bigger issue, right?
Yeah, we're not adding another collection. And what's that?
Oh, thank God.
Yeah. And
we're not breeding again.
What I'm saying is we're not adding another collection. Like we're not diluting collections. Because that doesn't work, and that's not good. That's not good for anybody. But disconnecting yield from an NFT doesn't mean that there's not a purpose for that collectible in the ecosystem, and that it doesn't benefit from the token. So I would not anticipate that there's if I'm just playing this out as a degen, knowing what I know, I wouldn't think gens should take any sort of price hit from somebody not yielding $2.50 a day anymore in banana.
Yeah, I think every gen knows that this needs to be done, so I don't think it would affect the price. And you guys are revolving everything into banana, and Genesis is gonna get more love. I don't think anyone will be, upset.
Yeah.
With what's coming. So
Yeah,
Gens are
when
not
Henry
forgotten.
said I don't think everyone's gonna be upset that we're not making $2 a day. I was like, all right, that's a good point.
Yeah. I mean, and we can prove it doesn't work. It worked for what we needed it to work for. It worked for breeding babies. After that, to have a token and the way the emission schedule works, like it just doesn't work. Nobody cares. There needs to be purpose behind banana. There needs to be accessibility to banana. There just needs to be a reason for people to hold banana. I think if you unlock that, and then you're still able to include your assets and participating in banana, not passive yield wise, but like in being able to obtain it. I think that's a way more cohesive ecosystem than 1,000 Gen Cons yielding 10 banana for 10 years. If you go back to the AMA that I did with Owl and Mio in 22, I think it was December of 22. Owl himself said it. Like the tokenomics of banana are flawed, and like we know it, we've seen it. So yeah, I think if people are selling a Gen Con and flooring it because of a lack of passive yield, it's not why you would hold a Gen. I mean, I could be crazy. I just think the majority of gens have gotten way past that, and there's something different about owning a Gen, right? Like at this
There's
point,
literally no way that happens. Like,
yeah.
I'd be so shocked, bro, if that was to happen. If you saw the new tokenomics design versus the old tokenomics design, and you decided to floor your gem off the new tokenomics design, like something is seriously wrong from like understanding of the crypto space.
What about like the emphasis or the point on like the number of the sort of like the 1,000 that we have like as our elite sort of collection compared to the other ones? Like is that like in terms of the reach that we can get with that, is that going to be like sort of sorted out as well, or what was that?
As in the supply of the Genesis collection.
Yeah, I mean, like, because obviously it's a small collection. It doesn't it doesn't sort of allow itself like the other collection. You know, the other Bored Apes and the Zookeeper and all of that.
Yeah, it's a great point. Like, number one, we'll never ever change the supply of the Genesis collection, nor will we change the smart contracts associated with the provenance of the Genesis collection. Just because, like, for me, if me and Henry got hit by a bus tomorrow, like, Gens would still be as valuable as they are today.
bring general back to the same vibes that it is, and to have influential, impactful people in this space, and they aren't KOLs. They're people like Smokey from Berra. They're people like Arbitrum founders. They're people like this, that, and the next thing. They are not whale.swoosh giving some AI takes on crypto Twitter. And like, what I think will happen is our ecosystem and the way we're doing things, which is novel again, which will like people will have to look at it, and which is going to make an ecosystem so good and products so good that you're going to have to look at it whether you like it or not. Whether you're paid or not, you're going to have to take a look at it. And we're going to do some things behind the scenes as well to enable that, and that's effectively what we're going to go for.
Nice.
Also, guys, it's 10:30 on a Friday evening, and I am going to clock off. But
Hey,
it's been lovely speaking to you guys, man. Have a lovely weekend. And
hey, we really appreciate you, bro.
Let's try do this like every Friday or kind of like every day, because I do think there's something like really valuable in what you're doing and like the team joining you and the communication we can bring from it. So
Yeah, I think we could do some fun like X Spaces too.
for sure, bro. Like, there's no reason like we can't all just chill in like a Discord thing and just stream it to X. Like, we can have, as like Synthesis said, like people don't want to come up and VC in front of 100 people. If it's just us chilling and then it's just streamed and you don't even know if it's being streamed, like it'll be fine for us. And I think we can do something like that. But I truly believe this should happen, and I think this is like, I mean, Henry, like we spoke about it so many times, but I think this is good headway into making it happen.
Yeah, bro. We just hate for the fucking CK account. Well,
Yeah,
you know
I
what
mean,
I mean?
bro, like we can. I'll even do it for mine if you want. Or you can just start it for mine. I'm not technically. I don't work for the team. Da 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 da. Any of that. So if you guys just show up, essentially, right? Then it's just that.
Yeah.
For sure, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
But guys, have a great weekend.
Yes,
You too, bro. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I know.
You too, guys.
Alright, guys, I'm off as well.
Yeah, no
Catch you
worries.
guys later.
You guys are
The
doing this
UK
thing.
boys are dropping.
Man's got to sleep.
Yeah, of course, bro. Of course.
USA gang.
Alright, guys, take care, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming, bro. Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll just try to do like we'll aim for like every Friday, just like this. Yeah, and if you guys are too loud or whatever, then I'll turn you down. Or like if somebody can't hear, then I'll turn whatever I'm missing up. Like DaCosta's been helping me with the audio. He said it was echoing earlier, and I fixed that because he noticed that on Twitch or whatever. But I don't know. I haven't done on X Spaces and shit, so we'll see.
Yeah, X Spaces is tough. They've got all their shit's actually kind of hard. So we'll just see if we can get that figured out. It may take a few tries to get it all smooth.
But yeah, like next week we can start up early or whatever and try to like figure that out.
Get more leaks going.
Yeah, I mean, basically today, good overview. A leak's coming. A leak of a leak. I know those are Rice Farmer's favorite. But yeah, like banana. I mean, for the people that are here, they have obviously had the chance, and I can almost guarantee you these green dildos are us in the chat. But yeah,
Oh. Tildos. That's funny, bro. That's right, B. That's further. Shut the fuck up, bro. God almighty.
bro's name. I love it.
Oh, Nico's here.
Yeah, long time
I
no
like
see.
seeing Nico around.
Long
Yeah,
time
I
no
see. I
see.
see him. I see Nico in the Ronky Discord.
Mhm.
Which honestly, aside from CK, and I don't spend a lot of time in Ronky for like, I don't chill there for like an hour. But other than Cyberkongz, that's the only other like Discord that I go into.
Mhm.
I go there for a good laugh every now and then.
Oh yeah.
I love it. I love it, bro.
Yeah,
Do you want to know
I love the
something?
lake, bro.
I feel like,
Tell me.
yeah. So I feel like Ronky. All right, Are you streaming still, Blazing, or no?
We are streaming to 4
No.
people.
No. I was talking about Blazin is streaming. Okay, I'll keep my comments tempered then. Like there is a side of Ronin that I feel like is. What's that?
I hear nothing.
Oh, I don't know. Can you hear me, Blazin?
I was just saying something because it was quiet.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a side of Ronin that, like, I just don't understand. And that's okay, because, like, Ronin it's an interesting chain. The people on it are interesting. The gamers, the rice farmers, everybody's in it for something a little bit different. But I don't feel the same. Man, how do I say this? Like I don't understand the culture the same way that I understand the culture of Cyberkongz, right? And the Ronky people, I understand the culture. I feel like the Ronkies are the people that they're not trapped, but it's like they also are like a little bit of the outcasts of the Ronin ecosystem, in the same way Kongs are. Like Kongs, can you still hear me? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, we're the redheaded stepchild on Ronin. We are. We don't care that we are, but we are. Like, we don't fit in the same way, and it makes sense that we don't. We are the most degenerate of blue chips, or whatever the fuck you want to call us. We're the most degenerate out there. We will do any and everything. We are a little bit more mild-mannered than Ronky is, but, like, we don't care. Whereas, like, most of the projects on Ronin are gaming studios. They are, like, polished business people, game devs. They have a business plan. It's very fucking different and they're launching a game. Very different people, very different culture. We don't fit into that. We're friends with some of these people. Kydro's a good example. Like I'm friends with the people at Kydro. I like them. I know we're different. We know we're different. They know we're different. But like, there's a respect. And the thing about Ronky, this is the longest fucking way of saying, the thing about Ronky is when I go in there, I just want to free them. I want to free them, and I can't even tell you what that means. But I'm just like, I want you guys, like, they want what we want. Do you know what I mean? And they don't care if it's in a Web3 game. They want to make money. These rocktards want to make money. They want to degen. Maybe not all of them have the same kind of size as like somebody in Gen Hall, but when I go in there, I love it, bro. It's like the fucking baboons got loose from their cage and they're fucking swinging from the fucking trees and they're hanging from the chandeliers and they're breaking windows, and I'm just like, and it feels good, and I'm like, I love these people. I love it. They don't care. There's a whole side of Ronin that feels like they don't want to talk bad about Ronin. That's part of the culture, right? Like, there's a whole side of Ronin that feels like they don't want to talk bad because they're going to get maybe banned from Discord, or maybe somebody's going to send them a DM. Like that exists, and the rocktards, they just don't care, man. They do not care. So I respect that.
Yo, I'm dying right now, Henry. That was so hilarious. The one.
It's the truth, though, isn't it, bro? And the thing is, because they've done that. Don't quote me on this, but they've done 6.5 to 7 million million in volume on Ronin. So they have cemented themselves as a meme, as the meme on Ronin. So it is very hard for Ronin that typically wants that like polished kind of gaming look, professional game studios, everything that I said before, where people are kind of like, they don't want to talk bad about something because like they don't want to be, talked to about that they talked bad. There's a fear. There is a fear. I felt it from people about like if they say something, they're going to get talked to or they're going to get banned. But the thing is, Ronki has done so well that it's almost like Ronin has conceded that they're the wild animals. They're not as, they're not the redheaded stepchild like Kongs, but they kind of are. And I love it. I fucking love it, dude. I just am like, they don't care. They see the light. And I say I want to free them, but I don't even know what that means. And I don't know that they even want to be freed, but I do know this. Those motherfuckers in Ronki love Cyberkongz. They love Cyberkongz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the majority of Ronkies are were born in Cyberkongz, like me. Cyberkongz was the first project I trust in Web3, and I love Cyberkongz. And I think Ronki has some essential things from Cyberkongz. And I think this culture is doing very, very, very well. We are breaking our chains, you know what it means. But
Yeah.
I think Ronki will be good, as you say, a few days in Discord, bro.
Yeah, I think we'll always have like this kind of cool CK Ronki relationship. Obviously, they love Coco in there. He's a big supporter of Ronki, and like,
You
I just
know,
like it, man.
we have like 7, maybe even 10 honoraries. And I have one of them. One of them is me.
Oh, you got one, bro? I got one too. Yeah, I got one too. I didn't know you had one.
I have like, bro.
He has one.
I'm like, I'm not even.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't even consider myself that famous, bro.
No, but you're respected. Like you're respected, and you're on Ronin, and you're Gen Kong, and like people just they like that, bro. Ronki's like that. Obviously, you got an honorary. Bro, they made one of Herney, and like Coco bought it for me. I think he spent like 11 or 1,500 RON. I'm like, I'm not paying that to like let somebody hold it hostage, and fucking Coco stepped in and.
Bro, that's why I'm not buying mine. Bro wants way too much, bro. I'm like I am not that cool, bro. You gotta relax.
Dude, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
Bro over here thinks I'm like Kagi level. I'm like, bro, I am not that famous.
Yeah, but Kagi, yeah, Kagi's an interesting.
As much
interesting
as much as we think how interesting he is definitely popular.
Yeah.
You know?
I've got no axe to grind with Kagi. He supported Cyberkongz. He's a Cyberkong. He's a Gen Kong. He's a supporter of CK. He talks about us. He's got a following. No, I respect that. I might think he's like a little kooky, but bro, so the fuck am I? Like I'm kooky as fuck.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I started to like, there was a time where I had mad hate for like Pudgy Penguins, right?
Yeah.
And Kyungs and I just realized, bro, I'm 42, but I'm still learning and I'm still like trying to make changes in my own life. It's like you're always doing that. You're always just trying to be a better person.
Yeah.
And I realized like where all of that comes from, where all of that like, oh, I don't like them. It really, for me, if I really got down to the bottom of it, it's jealousy. It's nothing more than jealousy. It's jealousy that was definitely fueled by like, man, we do so much, and like nobody cares. It seems at times, or we had the SEC shit going on, and it was jealousy. It was like, fuck, we can't do anything. They can, and people talk about them, but they don't talk about us anymore. I was there when people talked about us. I was there when we were partying with the fucking FaZe Clan in their warehouse, and we had 400 people, inside, and we had a fucking line outside, and K Money was there doing videos. Like I was there during that time. It's embarrassing at times to know that we were there and that like we fell from it. Some of it 100% due to like what we did or didn't do, and our own lack of being able to like reach out and become part of the mind share. And some of it was like just a product of like people eventually gravitated towards things that weren't us, and they ran with it, and the thing is, and they did better with it. They marketed better. They had the people talking about them. They got into the mind share, and so like yeah, jealousy. But now I'm just like fuck that, dude. Respect it. Like that. What they did was not easy. Like I may think some of the shit's corny as fuck, but it ain't easy to be corny as fuck, and it's not easy to grind the way you've got to grind to get there, to get hundreds of thousands or millions of followers. Like that's a fucking art and that's a grind. And I've just learned to like respect it and know like there's a lot of people that are better than me. Bro, I used to be like this with Enzo. In my mind, Enzo is what, 16 years younger than me? Something like that. It's hard when you've grinded your whole life like I have, and you're like, you think you know everything because you're a dad and you own a business, and I served in the military. And I'm just like, yeah, I got a pretty decent like mind, and I did some shit in my own life, and it's hard sometimes to be like, what the fuck does this kid know? But you know what? I'm gonna tell you, man. Early with Enzo, I understood that about my own brain. That like, no, like listen to who fucking cares what their age is. I did shit at a young age that people like gave me like when I say a chance on that, like listen to me. Don't be hard headed about shit. Don't be hard headed. He's here to help. He's here to help. And dude, it was a massive learning like the lesson I learned was like me shutting my fucking mouth and listening to somebody who is way younger than me and understanding like, no, they know some shit more than me. They're good at that, and that's why I brought them on. So I've had to learn a lot of that in Web3 to like eat some pride and understand there's a lot of fucking people better than me at a lot of things.
Yeah, I totally
So
hear
I don't
you.
hate that.
I totally hear you on like the younger than me. I mean, when I was like when I was trying to figure it out, 18, 19, I was asking people who were 50, 40, 50, 60, what did you fuck up on? What did you thought was really good? What was something that you would tell yourself at this age, blah 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 shit like that. And it's like sometimes that information can come from somebody younger than you just because they're more, knowledge about that kind of thing.
Yeah. It was a lot of weight on CK, like, working with devs and being like one of the only, kind of the only front facing guy back when it was, back when like Enzo wasn't on the team and Adzi wasn't on the team. And I was the only one that was kind of like in touch with the community vocally and at events. And of course, Inverted, when Inverted was on the team. But I understood that like the thing that I was good at in life was not like, I didn't have to be good at the thing. I needed to hire the people that were good at the thing, and then let them be good at the thing, and I can just do more of being good at the thing by other people doing the thing. And that's been one of the greatest parts of CK is bringing on like Adzi and Enzo, and being like, oh yeah, no, they only add value. They only look out for like what's in the best interest of CK, and they're just straight up, dude. Adzi, I've never seen. I work my fucking ass off. Okay, I swear to God, work my ass off. I've never had somebody that I thought worked harder than I do, and Adzi works harder than I do. It's tough to try to hit the level of. It's tough to hit what Adzi hits. He's that dude, and he's amazing, dude. You talk about spreadsheets and organization and thoughtful answers, and that guy is gifted as fuck, bro. I'm not even kidding, man. If Enzo and Adzi ever wanted to come out with like a Web3 project, I would hope they would hire me as community manager. I would hope. I would be like honored to work for those two because they're fucking special, man. Oh, Neo's in here. What's up, Neo?
What's up, brother?
How are you, dude?
I've been trying to get him in here for weeks.
Yeah, no, but the problem is for me it's really hard during the weeks. But Fridays, the end of Fridays, during the weeks, it's impossible to me.
Yeah.
Being a VC, I arrive at home at 5, 6 p.m. to get my lunch, take the kids up, and blah blah blah. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's awful.
That's what's been nice is like I've been doing on my drive home because just like you, yeah, you can't like walk in your house and then you're like, oh sorry, I'm like in voice chat. Yeah. No way. How's the family, bro?
All good, thanks to God, man.
Good.
And hearing this, I was, to be honest, I was not so happy with the banana until today. I know that Blazing and all of you are trying to tell me. I just want to get more and more VX, but looks like Nana is the play.
Do you want to know something? Huda, I think last night made a really like thoughtful point on VXs, and I won't be able to say it as good as he did, but he's like, look, and then we were all talking about it. We're like, look at VXs in their own right, a 15K collection, literally. Meebits came out before, but the first fully rigged, interoperable Web3 gaming avatar, right? I mean, was there something before that I'm missing? Literally, like the first. Okay, they fucking work. They have files. They're integrated in games. They're ready to go in anything. They've got that OG voxelized look, and for 3 years and about 8 months, they've been able to hold the price of at least what 0.07 ETH, give or take, give or take 0.07 for a voxelized asset.
And hazardous.
Yes, yeah, that could be. But I don't think you guys have bought every VX over the last 3.5 years, right? I mean, yes, you're buying them now, but it's maintained value of 150 to 250 bucks consistently for a 15K collection. And even if they're not the focus right now, I think there's something where at any time with the right connection, the right partnership, that those things can be right back into the mind share.
I mean, there's something about them that's collectible to the point that like people see them for $100, they're gonna grab them regardless of what's going on.
Yeah.
I think so.
People like they love them. That's just how it is.
All it takes is one GTA announcement of Cyberkongz in GTA, and bam, game over.
No, I don't disagree. Who knows what can happen? It's just like, there's something there that's still like incredibly special and still has, again, there's no other collection like it. Call me crazy. You gamers can tell me, is there anything else out there like it where you can have a 3D avatar that's, let's say interoperable in some games? Is there anything else out there that sells for any amount of money? That's actually the asset versus like a Nifty Island. If you have a Sappy Seal, I don't think you have a one of your Sappy Seal. Maybe you do. Maybe you do now. But like, other than Meebits, what collections exist out there that have like an actual gaming asset, a playable gaming asset?
Yeah, there's none.
Are there?
No, there's nothing like that.
No, nothing like that.
Yeah.
It's not that the product isn't. It's not that the product isn't good. It's just not the time.
Yeah. Yep. Agreed, bro.
I think we're just ahead of time with VXs. That's all. When the time comes and like interoperable with it, it might make more sense down the road.
Yeah, I wish we could get VXs into like a badass game. Like a badass game. Just like nothing to even do with Web3. Just like
No, yeah, like a Fortnite or something. Literally, like.
Yeah. Yep.
Obviously, I feel like Fortnite would be like a pretty hard considering it's Disney, but I feel like who owns like off the grid?
I try it, but I don't really like, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I like first person shooters, so
There's
that's the
another
thing.
one I don't remember the name that is not Battleground. It's more like an feel was way better than of the grid. I don't remember the name. Let me see if I can say it. But
It wasn't Collider, was it? I don't know if they went. I don't know if they were on Epic.
I mean, it could be something honestly as simple as just like talking with the Realms Walkers team, because I know that they've started getting shit up and going in Unreal Engine with their game.
NFT integration and all.
VX files, that'd be sweet. Yeah.
And Genkai.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, whenever you release something, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? Genkai avatars are done. What they're doing right now, you know how with the VX, you've got to connect to the website.
Yeah.
And connect your wallet in order to download it. They're making that connection right now, so that way, like with the sprites, we didn't have like a way yet to be able to just like, oh, you can download this from your, from once you connect your wallet.
Oh, like the page.
With Genkai, we're like, so they got to connect that, and then I think that Felix was working at one point on a viewer where like, you could like change clothing and shit like that. But I think for the time being, yeah, what's happening is they're just making that connection between the website, your wallet, and the assets, so you can download it. They're VRF files. They might have FBX files as well, but I think. Oh, sorry, I said VRF. I meant VRM. But I think I got to look at the marketing schedule. I think we're doing that after we kind of get into like kind of announcing what we're doing. I don't think we're going to do that beforehand because I think it just doesn't make sense right now to just throw that out there randomly. I think the plan is it's part of a more kind of cohesive marketing strategy.
For sure. Yeah. Build up the hype, and after the hype's there and all the new holders are here, then give them something else to go indulge in.
Yep, exactly.
yeah, but definitely like the idea of doing this meeting every Friday, like Enzo say, at this time. It can be a little bit later, Blazing. I don't know if Blazing's still here.
Yeah.
But if you can start something around 4 p.m. Eastern time, will be great.
Well, Enzo left because it's kind of late for him in his time.
Yeah, that's a nice.
But at least you'll be able to watch. I'm gonna be recording.
You will leave everything recorded and
Yes.
uploaded on YouTube and Twitch, right? Perfect.
Yes.
We'll see if they can move the jackpot back, and then we'll just have to stream.
Maybe we can get P&K changed to 7 days a week, and we'll just do it every Friday.
Oh, now we're talking.
Just fucking busted his balls.
Now we're talking.
God, I got the whole mafia in here now, right?
Almost.
The whole mafia. At least Tashish is coming in to fucking save us.
He already missed all the good alpha.
No, was the space locked? Can you guys like close it?
No.
Oh, because I was trying to join, but I guess it was just my Discord being weird. Yeah, I missed the alpha. Fuck.
Yeah, it's alright. It'll be on.
Just buy banana. That's all I have to say.
Banana is the alpha, yeah.
Okay.
And sell Roman.
That was not said by anybody else but you guys.
Oh yeah, wait, that was by somebody else.
Damn, I need more nanos though.
Did someone ask something about like the Prometheans or something like that? Because I saw the chat.
Synthesis did.
Yeah, just
Synthesis, yeah.
nothing.
He was just asking if it's like part of what we're doing.
No.
And the answer was no, right?
Hell no.
Correct.
I mean, no. Sorry.
Yeah.
The way Blazin said it is what we meant, but not wanting to talk disrespectfully, it was just no.
Of course. You gotta say it appropriately. We get it.
Yeah. I'm gonna hold my own title, just hold it there. First, minted by a rune. That's it. If it It pumps.
Who knows? Maybe down the line, CK will do something for Untitled holders. They're going to have 2 Kongs in their ear about it. I know that for sure.
I think that I don't know, bro. I don't know. Do you want to know something? We haven't talked about it.
I mean, honestly, Henry, I feel like it would be pointless. I feel like going back to Bitcoin and doing anything on Bitcoin would just
Nah, bro, it will bring all that negative energy back, bro. I wouldn't even say nothing about decentralized.
As an Untitled holder, do not do it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm a holder too. I'm a holder. I got one. I like it, but yeah, I'm with you. I think it yeah. Let the sleeping dog lie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hold an Untitled too, but it's like the car.
It's for sure dope art. Like, there's no doubt in that. It's the first one.
I say that I sold one for a 0.1, so I'm happy with it.
Oh, nice, dude. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should have dumped in hindsight.
Bro, I was able to mint 2, and my, obviously the love that I have for CK, but if it was another collection, bro, I would have dumped both of them at the same time. Like, buy 0.1 is a lot of money. So
in my case, I bought one for 5K. Remember?
I told you.
I'm still holding it.
I was holding you back, bro. Like, don't buy more, bro. You're good. You're good.
Yeah. At least you hold. Yeah, at least you hold me.
I do remember you did want to buy another one.
Does Untitled have any volume on it? Do people buy them?
No.
Like 14 days ago, like 2 buys. It's 0.005 right now, like $700.
Damn.
I still humble my. I still humble my. I think I will never sell it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I would say if it goes to 0.03, 0.05, maybe I sell, but
I feel like it'll just be something cool that we'll talk about, 15 years down the line, and we'll reminisce on those days. We'll have a little collectible to remember it.
Well, imagine a world where CK is back, when I say on top in the conversation, and things are healthy, and then people are like, oh shit, like CK did something on Bitcoin, like there's only 200 of them.
Yeah.
That's thing.
True, yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason that.
And also, it was the first. It was the first.
Go look at
I'm gonna buy another one now, Henry. Thanks.
Go look at the floor price of that project. It looks like balloons on the wall, but it was done by BAYC.
12-fold?
12-fold. Yeah. That's what it was. Yeah. I mean, what's the floor price on those?
They used to be pretty high. I don't know what they are now. They occasionally show up in like trending.
Yeah.
Where like people buy them, but yeah. And Edu, you're right, bro. First ordinal etched off a rune.
Yeah, I mean, it has, it's got back. You know what I mean? It's got some backbones and shit. Like it's not like it's trash.
Fucking crazy, bro. It's fucking crazy. We did some cool shit over there. We etched rune number 2. We came into an ecosystem that we knew about, but we weren't ingrained in it. We airdropped 21,000 pieces of art for free to people. It ran to 0.093 Bitcoin, has a ton of volume on it. We launched a room.
Did you hear us?
By a phone call, maybe.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Launched a rune that went to 100-something million market cap. Inscribed a collection off of that rune, which is rune number 2. Sold it in the rune. Only one to really do that, or the first. And that's something, bro. We went over there and did more than fucking Dog did. I mean, not in volume, but we did more than any of these people.
Yeah, bro. The thing was
more than any of them. We did a lot.
Yeah,
we did a lot for the little bit of time we spent over there.
The thing was, they knew that CK was behind it, so obviously, people know about CK, builders, innovators. They push the Web3 space, so they expected more, and that's why. That's why I think they, people refer so.
Yeah, in the moment when we were doing all that etching and the rune stuff,
it felt amazing. Like that the happening is happening, and CK is doing. We're launching the number 2 rune, decentralized, and then making a project out of it, and then it all went to shit.
It did, bro. It did.
Yeah.
Fucking bro.
That's because runes went to shit in a way. Like they don't have the narrative they had. It didn't play out.
Everything is down. Everything is down. Everything is down so bad, bro. There, like everything. So.
And I think decentralized is better than like dog. Like they just tried to be like the first dog meme on a new chain. We just went with like something very definition
different,
decentralized.
Yeah. I think the confusion was what I said before. That CK brand, CK team was behind it, so the expectation from other people was pretty high though, because they thought that they were gonna build. CK it's been building since 2021, so. I think it was that, bro. I think, in the end, it was that they expected more, but there wasn't anything to do, bro. Like, they did what they, could do at that moment, so, yeah.
Yeah, people are just retarded, bro. People are just retarded. They just 100%. They sit there and they're like, oh, you didn't do the thing. You didn't do it. You fucking rugged us. It's like, bro, by the way, we didn't rug you. There was nothing to do. There was nothing to do. You wanted us to cook you a meal in the middle of the fucking desert. No tools, nothing. Yeah. We're good chefs, but we need to be in a kitchen.
Yeah, exactly.
And you guys still did what you guys could do. Like there still is no other ordinal collection that was minted by. Oh, maybe there is. I shouldn't say that, but we were the first ones, so that's still something that had to be built.
Yeah. And what else of that? If another project has done minting in a rune, what else have they done that tops CK?
Exactly. There's no next step after that, and that's what CK realized, and everyone was unhappy.
It took us a bit to get there, and Mio the whole time was just like, we're running back gens. We're just doing the same thing we did before. A thing that meant another collection, and it was going to take more resources, and it's expensive to inscribe at the time, and it was like, man, we're going to put like another 6 figures into releasing another collection that we're not going to make any money off of because we can't sell any of this shit.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great plan.
Yeah.
It's the dumbest business plan you could ever conceive. But in Web3, it's kind of like, bro, we were so, dude, we just needed to feel something. Like that's what it was. It's like we needed to feel something.
It was an exciting day. It was
crazy. Like you guys spent created $100 million out of thin air. Like shit was sweet.
Yeah. Bro, the people that know, they know, bro. It's just people that are salty and they bite the top, but the people know, bro. Like people that you want them to know, they know. That's there's some salty people. That's it. That's all.
Also, see, like we did a great job of hyping it up. Like the hype was real. Like leading up.
Bro, it was insane. I was seeing Cyberkongz on fucking old Twitter, bro. Like it was insane. Like insane.
Yeah. Oh yeah, bro. Like Mario Nafal reached out to us and was like, they wanted to invest in it, and it was weird. It was weird times. Weird times.
Yeah,
we were like top of the food chain again.
People were overestimating runes. I think that's the main thing. And then, once the reality hit, there's nothing you could do.
Yeah, I want to believe that they can come back, but I don't feel it anymore.
Yeah. One last pump, bro. That's what I asked.
The pumps on Bitcoin, they react like decently. I'm not big, but they go up 10, 20%. Certain ones.
Yeah.
Gizmo, yeah.
Oh, yep. You're right.
The thing is that everything is so psychological. Like for example, people have, let's say, ETH, Bitcoin, whatever. They're not gonna stand there. They want to make more money or try to multiply their stack, bro. It's always gonna happen. I can see it more obviously in ordinals than runes, but that's why I think that also ordinals are gonna come back because when it gets volume, bro, you know how many people are gonna jump in again. Like it's gonna happen like 100%. I don't know about runes, but ordinals, yeah, for sure. It's just when, and this is gonna be maybe a long cook for that, but yeah. People are gonna always degen, bro. There's always gonna degen.
I'm curious what you think, but like you remember when ordinals were pumping? I guess earlier this fall, like end of last year or I would say last year. Do you think when Bitcoin's at like 200K, there might still be opportunities in ordinals, but it's going to be for like smaller amount of sats? Do you think people are less, they're still going to gamble for the X's and the multipliers, but, do you think the Bitcoin gains will still have been better last year because it was cheaper and, it was just a bigger decimal?
I mean, they have to lower the amount, the mint price. Obviously, like, if it was like 0.004 was the norm, it's going to be like 0.0008, for example. I think they should do that, put it more in like USD terms. And also, I mean, last cycle when ETH pumped like crazy, that's when NFTs like started running, when people were like, making banks on what they did. But I don't know, man. That's my main concern with ordinals is like the price of Bitcoin.
More like node monks. Like, didn't node monks go to like 0.9 BTC floor like 2 years ago or last year?
Yeah, I don't think this cycle we're gonna see those
numbers. Like 0.3 Bitcoin because Bitcoin is at 300K. Like it might never get to the 1 Bitcoin floor.
I don't think it's gonna get. What Enzo mentioned hours ago, like people have mature whatever. I don't think that I don't think that no ones are gonna touch 1 Bitcoin. Like maybe not this cycle. I don't think it's gonna happen on this one. But maybe they go to 0.3, 0.4, 0.5. But testing again, all-time highs. I don't know. I really don't know.
Gotcha.
I can see it. I can see it. And
yep.
I agree with you. Like I don't see it this cycle though. If it was gonna happen, I would assume it's like Q3. Something like that. Like I don't see it happening soon. Maybe Q3, Q4. But yeah, bro, dude, there's so few of us in ordinals right now. There's so few, and there's not really much of a reason to get in there. But okay, think of this, bro. Bitcoin is taking on an entirely new life. It's being, bro. Everybody knows Bitcoin now. It's like AI. Like everybody knows that AI exists. They know ChatGPT. Everybody knows Bitcoin. You cannot ignore it. More and more institutions are going to be fucking with Bitcoin. More and more states and more countries are going to be passing legislation for strategic reserves of crypto, and Bitcoin will be at the top of that list on every one of those lists. And so, I think it was Huda that was saying there is, I forgot how many hundreds of thousands of wallets that hold 1 Bitcoin.
I think it's almost about to pass 1 million.
Yeah, I watched his stream. He said that on average there's 4 Bitcoin. I think it's either 4 or 18. I know that's a big jump, but I think on average it's a 4 Bitcoins per wallet on average.
Yeah, and I think that 18 number was in there somewhere. Like a lot of them hold like a decent amount of Bitcoin. There are going to be people who, more than likely, if all of our thesis on Bitcoin, which I think all of us believe, like Bitcoin can be a thing. Like Bitcoin can be 300K, 500K, 800K. I think a lot of us believe that that's possible. There's only 21 million of them, and if it becomes an institutional asset, we've never seen anything like it in our lives. So, those people who make fuck you money on Bitcoin could be this cycle, probably not this one, but another cycle. They're going to want to flex some shit on Bitcoin. Yeah. They are going, not all of them. There will be the 50-year-old snake skin shoes. There's that guy, but there's going to be the Edus. There's going to be the Henrys. There's going to be the fucking regular Joe Schmo who held Bitcoin, is a fucking wealthy, generational wealth MFer, and is going to want to flex some shit because that's what people do. And you're going to get, it's going to happen where a LeBron James buys a Node Monk or a Puppet or a Taproot Wizard or some other shit we don't even know about yet. And all of this stuff, bro, that's all it takes. Look how quickly we went from okay, I remember when Bitcoin hit 79 and there was people saying it could be one more flush out to 62. And it's yeah, it could be. Nobody fucking knows. It could be. But also, it could just creep to 80. Then it could go to 90, and then there could just be a little bit of fucking news. We sign a trade deal with the UK. Maybe we're gonna release pull back some of the tariffs on China, and bro, we're Bitcoin over 100K now. It just takes nothing.
Yeah,
it takes
yeah.
nothing to like. So it can take nothing to spark the entire Ordinals ecosystem. Really, it could take nothing.
No, for sure. And I think that a lot of projects they just got flushed away. So you already know what projects are gonna pump. Like you can say like the ones that have most volume, or there's some that haven't got the meta yet. But yeah, I'm just putting 0.3, 0.5 just to don't have an over expectation on it. But I think you have a really good point though. And I think that I'm most bullish on the. Yeah, and I'm the most bullish that I am on Ordinals whatever space is puppets because of the culture. I think Null Monks has a really strong provenance. It's like the punks, let's say on Bitcoin. Rare Sats is one of my top conviction plays in the whole space. So yeah, bro, I think people are gonna be like, okay, what's next? What's more into it? Like they want to flex it. Yeah,
it's funny. I talked to Huda the other day about rare sats, and I've been saying I want to get a couple more. And it's funny, he doesn't like the rare sats. But he also doesn't know it super well. He's like, I think it's a narrative that like people tried to spin up that doesn't matter. But I was talking to him about like what we were talking about, it being like collecting coins. And
for example, yeah,
I think I said I don't think that it necessarily reaches out to the same amount of people that want to hold Bitcoin or the same amount of people that want to buy an ordinal. But I think there's a subsection within there that can put immense value on them.
Yeah,
I don't think everybody's going to be a rare sat collector, but I think there could be that little subculture within there.
Yeah, it's so scarce, bro. And it makes so much sense when you think about Web 2, Web 2 IRL, like people collecting coins for hundreds of thousands of dollars. Imagine on Bitcoin, bro. Like, and when seeing how everything is going, everything's digital, everything's gonna be, moving forward. So I think that, it makes so much sense. Obviously, everything's speculation. It can go to zero, whatever. But for me, personally, it makes a lot of sense. Because it's already happening on Web 2. Why it wouldn't happen on Web 3 and on Bitcoin? So
yeah, yep, agreed.
Yeah, but let's see. I hope no one goes to one Bitcoin though.
Me too, bro. You know what? Nodes and puppets, just all the collections. Other than Taproots, which have been holding pretty decent, everything's just blah right now on Ordinals.
Yeah.
It's just all like blah. Is there any Doodles news? Like I saw their floor price was obviously down, which makes sense. Dudes chilling at like 80 mil or so. Like are people pretty happy about things?
I think that I don't think that people are happy though, and I don't know how much was the value of doodle holders. I know you have to have like a lot of shit from them, like to have a bigger allocation, but I think it was better than Azuki. I think as holders, but I don't know.
Like, do we know what the airdrop was worth for the majority?
Man, I don't know. I've been asking that, and no one tells me or have an idea on it. So, but I think that the market cap it was just too high. It opened really too high.
Well, don't they always?
So, yeah. Well, yeah. Pudgy was the same thing, right? It opened really high and then dropped, or
yeah.
Pengu. Yeah.
Yeah, Pengu. Yep. I think they all do that. They're like crazy high, and then they just come back down to their level, and then they play the. I mean, Anime and Azuki look a little bit similar. Their charts look really similar, I think.
Yeah. Is that I don't know? It was a premature move from both from Azuki and Doodles. So, like Pengu, obviously has a lot of sense for it, but the other ones, I don't know, like. They're constructing like Dreamcast, something like that for creators, whatever, that people can create their own collection coins. But I don't know. Doesn't I don't know. It's not that attractive, Pengu in the other side, yeah.
Henry, I think who just said it's an AI play that people are not all like realizing, and that I think he's getting them on his show, on his AI show, or he did, either today. He got contacted today that they were.
Yeah, I think it is an AI play. And he was saying like, I don't know, the Good Vibe Club. I feel like he was saying like could have some. Oh, maybe he was saying he wouldn't be surprised if like GBC was was one of the first projects to come into this metaverse AI thing. I don't know what to think about it because I don't know what it does, and I feel like if it makes people money, awesome. But I don't mean the token itself. Like if what they're building is something that can make people money,